In the shadow of the night, Ankh on the creep, raising up the titans, watch the fallen gods weep. From Baltimore streets to the Florida shores, Jehovah, hold and feel the wrath as it roars. No more rules, it's time to break. Killer army rise and make no mistake. All gods must die, hear the echoes cry. From the heavens to the ground, see them fall and die. All gods must die, no more alibis. Odin, Buddha, Allah, they all say goodbye. Zeus, on the throne, but he's losing his life. He's ready for the fight. Open your best run, we here for debate. All the deities trembling, feeling the weight, step aside, make way for the real. All gods must die, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Hey. All gods must die, hear the echoes cry. From the heavens to the ground, see him fall and die. All gods must die, no more out and die. All gods must die, no more out alive. They all say goodbye. All could have gone killer, now time to fly. The world's ours now, hear the last goodbye.
Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house, man. I'm coming to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall. I'm standing strong. Hey, Bobby banging this bitch, man. Woo, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the last show, man. We moving forward, man. Man, I'm gonna drop that link early and often, man. Had a conversation, man. High level intelligent conversation, man. We're gonna have to do it. Gotta always have good conversations, man. What y'all want to talk about? You want to talk about Black Egypt? You want to talk about disinformation? You want to talk about what level should we place truth in the community? You know, I feel like it should be the base. I think we stand on that. And I don't mean that lightly with the flim, blam, blam. I don't mean that. You know, people be thinking they got the truth and don't. Even having the flim flam. The contraband. Man, I see we got some people in the church and man, the church. See, we got some people in this space, man. Juju, Civil Killer Official, man. Appreciate you, Juju. Oh, I see you, see Breezy. I hope you seen that last one. I see it. Man, Gary, Civil Killer Army, what's up with you? iSonic, man. Good to see you, bro. Chakar, how you say that right? Chakar. Is that how you say that? You always playing around with me too. What's up, Logic? Gotta try media around here, man. I see you. Man, y'all hit that ink link, man. Hit the link, hit the link, hit the link. Stop playing. Clark Kent, where you at? Hit the link. As soon as the first pseudo killer hit the panel, we're going to be double streaming on the pseudo killers. I'm going to say this again. As soon as the first pseudo killer hit the link, we're going to be double streaming. Yes, we're going to do. Yeah. Nah. I ain't never saying that. White people trying to say it. Y'all had a wild conversation. Y'all wild, man. Y'all the wildest of them all, man. Y'all funny. Eric Graham, I see you. Black Panther. I see you. I see you. Yes, I do. Of course I do. Man. Lennox 4, what's good? Man, so we always had these conversations all the time, man. The conversations be top notch. And they always end in an argument too. So I was just kind of wondering, thinking, how should you treat the elders, right? When you got more information than they ever was able to even access. You got more clarity today than ever. Don't forget, there's going to be a younger generation going to look back and say, tell you what, though, if you keep it funky, you know what I'm saying? Keep it, you know how they say it, yo. Like the youngsters say, with no cap. Keep it literacy, science literacy, yo. You're going to look back and say, oh, man, they was a little behind on what we got now, but I see how they was doing it. That's how I want to be remembered. I want them to look back and say, yeah, boy, that's a little ancient there, but man, he was pushing them in the right direction. Stimuli God, what's up? That's how I want to do that. I'm going to make sure that be that way. I'm going to keep mine there. Y'all going to know what I stand for, yo. Y'all going to look at my foes and say, yeah, they was tripping. Yeah, hit that link. It say that average Egyptians are 76% similar to the old kingdom. I don't have a problem with that statement at all. Yep. Let's get this little Afrocentric thing straight, though. I think there's two governing bodies here. I don't call myself an Afrocentric. I always felt like I ain't got the qualifications. That was the level. Right? I felt like that was the level of conversations we was having, and we didn't need nobody else. Stood tall. Right? Always talk about Diop's how he stood tall. And we've had these conversations around that, right? And what is the measure of a Diop's? First of all, he was a physicist. Second of all, he was an anthropologist. Third of all, yo, he helped change the course of the way we seen Egypt. And this is what the fake Egyptians hate. They hate that. I got to get together a little. I'm saying if I can get somebody to come up here, man, I can find the experts saying, yeah, man, we had to study them in our program, in our doctorate, we'd be Egyptologists. We had to study that. Right? Well, why would you have to study that if it was all trash? You had to study that, right? Because what Diops actually represent is not what most blackologists say. Blackologists, I always say we represent the first generation that really sat down and read and argued and discussed the UNESCO document. That's what I say. And for sure, that's what we did. The previous generations always made up of extraordinary fable of how Diops came through, was most prepared and defeated. Such and such. Yeah, but and then when you took your time, like, wait, hold on. It was actually a scientific conference. And we got the first pseudo killer. What's going on, Cedric Katega, man? What's good?
What it do, God kill him.
All right, now I gotta, I said
you said you were gonna do it, so that's why I'm here.
I am, damn. Okay. I gotta, boy, you tripping. Hold on. We going live on. Okay, how the hell I do that? Shit. Hold on, man. See, you tripping. I'm gonna do it. Aha, I got it. Damn. Pseudo killer version. Hold on. Yep.
I want you to check your phone. I sent you something very interesting. 24 minutes that establishes everything we've been saying about Egypt. Every lesson that we've taught. Um, there ain't much that we ain't got right. There's a particular reasons we stayed away from specific terms. Just check your phone. I think if we get the opportunity, play that fair use. You know how we start to illustrate things because people need to see visual because they don't understand human evolution. They don't understand the Sahara. They don't understand pastoralism. They do not understand the development of dynastic Egypt. And the conversation on both sides have been wild. I've listened again, and some of the conversation is hinting towards the out of Africa invading race theory. These certain conversations require a certain academic level. I'm just going to say it. You either put in the work, engage without ideology, or it requires a certain level of comprehension. I've never been confused in this conversation after the early understanding. Once I started to get into, okay, let me understand this from an evolutionary perspective, the conversation was over. You study the Neolithic development, you understand Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt. If you study the Green Sahara, you understand Lower Egypt. And if you take chronology into account, you understand certain things that certain people were saying without ideology. So when they said the Egyptian civilization and its culture started in South, yes, in the south of Egypt. In the south of Egypt, yes, they did. You see clearly a northward movement of the dynastic and pre-dynastic development.
What did you say?
You see a clear a northward movement from a cultural entanglement along the Nile.
What you mean?
Quote unquote.
Moving north. Oh,
yes.
I was about to say what
is an homegrown.
Man, no, man, stop. First of all, you almost made me use my damn thoughts. Serge, gotta let you up and you start talking. I was in the middle of Diop. So how you do that shit, man?
Yeah, because you were trying to get us on the pseudo killers. That's why.
Oh yeah, you're right. But god damn, yo. Yo did a whole lot. Hey, bro, you know what? You just keep doing your own damn show, nigga. Yeah, that was spectacular right there. Y'all was like, is that the cup? Well, you funny. Stay right there, placeholder. Let me see if I can go back. I was saying, I was talking, damn, I was at Diop, and I said something about Diop. I said, it's talking about the importance, and I said it wasn't. I said, we the first generation that really read the document and had good discussions over it. Right? All right. And that was important for us because now we see that the new articles that's coming out is actually adding to the body of work that was held at the scientific conference in 1974. And Diop's was mischaracterized, man. Like the Black Owls, they overreached. They made it into a win or loss thing when in actuality it was a scientific conference, and that's not that's not the validity of it. It's based off of presenting papers. First of all, you got to present a paper, and if they accept your paper, right, then you can present your information. Okay, and that doesn't mean that everything you put in your paper that's not how that worked, right? So they debated the conversation. They had the great conversations, man, and what they came out was the the African piece to it, the indigenousness to it.
At conferences, you present your paper, but your paper is there is where the dispute and the discussion happens. There, some parts of your work are refuted, some parts are accepted, and that is how consensus is established. Not by saying, okay, he presented this, and because it was accepted means that this is what it is. No, aspects of it, it is deliberated on. We talk about all those in-depth discussions that were taking place, where we realized that would, should, and could escape certain people's ability to comprehend. That was one of those discussions that was taking place at these conferences. If you go to a conference, you present your work, and then there's a discussion happen. No, because of this research, that and that paper, that disproves this and this point. No, you cannot make that point because that information is outdated. We have better information. Look at this and this paper. That is what takes place, right? So aspects of Diop's work was accepted and others were refuted. The concept of a homogeneous population anywhere at any time in any aspect of of the homogeneous as being homogeneous, right, was never the case. There was never one single phenotype, one single human. That was never the case.
A single race.
It was never the case. Never. So,
and they can tell the fossil record too. The fossils, the way it was coming up, they kind of do that.
So that was thrown out. What was accepted is that the Egyptian culture is an indigenous, homegrown African civilization.
Mm-hmm.
The concept that it was established from people outside of Africa was put out of that conference.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as to the peopling of North Africa, at no point in time were they anything other than those people in North Africa. Distinct population based on their geographic location, which is a corridor between 3 continents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna highlight this right here. Where y'all at, man? We dropping the link, man. Y'all know we getting it funky up in here, man. We dropping the link, man.
My big brother Reggie.
Dang, my damn big brother. He get on my damn nerve. That damn Reggie guy right there. Let me highlight this in the book right here. All right.
What I do, Ankh? What I do?
I don't know. Did you see my video earlier? Did you catch that? You probably didn't catch that.
No.
Yeah, you gotta go.
No.
I'm not gonna talk about it. Look.
You could summarize it.
Nah, I don't want to get it. I just did the history of the Black Dot Bookstore and Cultural Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, AC Breezy. Make sure you go check that out. You was privy to the conversations, yo. You know who I'm talking about, yo. I'm no longer saying his name. You know what I'm talking about, yo. Right here. So I highlighted in the General History of Africa, book 2, look, Ancient Civilizations of Africa. So they said, right? And you see they talk about Egypt in here and Sudan, right here, right? So there's no getting around it. But if you read the editor, Mukhtar, right? He writes the introduction, and then Diop writes chapter 2. Read the introduction. Serious read right here. Serious material. And you know that's important, yo. Nah, I ain't what he gonna do is we need that little friction there. I need to probably pin it. Let me see. Where you at, Kent? Y'all playing Mukhtar. So yeah, you know, we get people mischaracterizing Diop's, Reg. And I would like to say that we're the first generation to read it. Everybody else was too busy howling their horse over simplifying that scientific conference. Diop's wanted. No, stop it. It wasn't a win or lose thing, yo. It was actually a changing of positions. It was actually a framing of Egypt in its African context. That's what it was. You know, regardless of the racial aspects that Diop's trying to bring that particular portion of his work did not fly at the conference, and no one was willing to say that to this generation. Right? We're clearly the first people to have a serious conversation about it. Clearly, a real serious conversation around it. We're going to read it. The would have came in. Reggie became the tiebreaker in the would have.
Honestly,
Reggie became the tiebreaker in the would have.
you see, first of all, I've said it. I've said it many times, and I'm going to continue to say it. Any research or any endeavor to gain accurate knowledge that is led by ideology, you will ultimately end up making fundamental errors. At that conference, and that same UNESCO conference, it was the whole conversation around race and establishing that the fact that there was one human race. We come out of the conference, Egyptians are black. There's a disconnect there. Right there, there's a fundamental disconnect. If the world of academia is moving away from racial terms as identifier, as an identifier as humanity, in a conference about Egypt, we come away with the Egyptians are black, rather than the invading race theory has firmly been dismissed. It's a homegrown indigenous culture.
Go ahead, Reggie. And I would say, how you doing, Mr. Nazir Lee?
What's up? Peace to the panel.
Well, they think in clines, and these are attributes, and one of those clines is skin. And so the Nuiwat specimen is dark to black. And they use that term scientifically in the context of clines. There's a lot of other conversations about what the Egyptians might have called themselves. I'm not going to go into that. But if you study clines, it doesn't have to be racial, right? It's just an attribute of what did the skin color look like and why, and what is the SLC24A genome and the allele. What does that do? What does that do? So, and when did it come into Africa? And I would like the person who put up that thing that the modern Egyptians are 76%. I'd just like a source for that. I mean, you can put it in the chat. Please put up a source for what you're saying, because Egyptians, they may have what you call sub-Saharan ancestry, which is really problematic in the sense that Africans moved from the Rift Valley to North Africa, and with evolution and admixture, they became distinct from the other groups. But it doesn't mean it can't mean that they don't have any fake sub-Saharan ancestry, because the Sahara is kind of a geographical term that describes land, and over periods of time there was shifting sand in the climate, and there is no sub-Saharan. That's a racial term that people created.
So I'm gonna give some pushback before we go any further. I agree, clients is how you study population groups, and within clients there are attributes that you classify, and skin color and skin tone can be one of those attributes. However, you see, the confusion in the community is from the moment that we hear they have a dark skin tone, which not be alien or foreign to that region as well, we start to make unnecessary connections. Let me give you an example. Southern Indians that are Asian 100%, no African or Sub-Saharan or West Central African ancestry, are black, dark black.
As a
Dark
client,
anyone
as
on
a
this.
skin attribute. Yes.
So we would not conflate the darkness of their skin and equate that to having some sort of quote unquote African or even sub-Saharan ancestry. And as for sub-Saharan, I agree with the statement. Sub-Saharan becomes very confusing. Why? The Sahara itself is a vast region that contained different population groups and clients. People constantly moving, groups constantly shifting, each existing in unique ecological niches. And if you understand evolution, the idea of a singular group of people was never the case. When you look at the desertification and you look at the disbursement of people from out of the Sahara in all directions, these are distinct population groups. So when you talk about sub-Saharan, on both sides, I don't agree with the term because it creates the illusion of a monolith on one side, and on the other side, it creates the illusion that people went up and down and all through the Sahara.
The Sahara is grassland, right?
Was
No, but a Sahara, the Sahara, right? It was a grassland, right? And
Green
you,
Sahara, you mean?
the Green Sahara. There's different periods. Sahara was
yeah,
was
there's
a
different,
lush
yeah,
tropical
so
forest at one point.
Or
And
there's
it,
Asian lakes?
yeah,
there's different periods. The problem is the this boundary called the Sahara Desert, and that is supposed to be that is more of a modern phenomenon than it is an ancient. In the middle isotope 5 period in climate, it was there was no desert, and in the African humid phase, there was no desert.
I
The,
agree. But there was vast and populations, groups of populations. That,
well, I
again,
was
at no
talking
point was there a monolith of people, even in the Green Sahara.
no, I of course I would not. Of course I would not say that. I would not say that at all. I'm just trying to just track. There's a couple of different conversations. Uh, the terminology of black again is a skin color is just a climb. That's all it is.
Uh,
Now, is it now the cultural the whether or not it's a cultural thing that they venerated blackness? Is that me?
Yep.
I
Let me
think
hold
the
on for a
area.
minute. Everybody freeze for 1 second. Nazir Lee, you want to add in? You want to add something? Where you at?
Yeah. I just I've been listening to you gentlemen's conversations over the past few months. I tune in from time to time and catch what I can. But can you hear me pretty good?
I ain't loud and clear, bro.
Okay, I'm on this iPhone, so I just want to make sure.
Mhm.
But the last few conversations you guys have been having on uh, the genetics for the Egyptian
Mhm.
uh, skeleton that they finally got the results back on.
Mhm.
I think it's very dangerous, and I see this being done on all three sides, all three individuals that have a invested interest in this conversation. For those who are who would promote a more interbred, mixed, Arab leaning, European leaning, Caucasus leaning Egyptian population, those results were right on time, and they're weaponizing those results when it's only just one body. We got to remember that. Then you have those who are on the other extreme end of that, saying, you know, well, what is this? This is not reflective of the population. The population were super Saharan or sub Saharan, very dark skinned, Negroid type population. And then you got those in the middle who attempt to be in the middle, such as yourself and others, where you're approaching this conversation right down the middle, saying, it is what it is. They're not who we thought they were. Okay. And the reason why I say this, you have to take caution. It's very dangerous. And Cedric said something earlier too about the invading race theory. I want to touch on that as well. But you have to remember, we spoke about this during the Green Sahara conversations, and I want everybody to go back and listen to those conversations because they were excellent. The little nuances we were giving in those conversations from Brother Reggie, uh, Ankh, and Gozi, and the other brother that's on the Three the Hard Way. I can't think of his name right now.
Gullah, Gullah.
Gullah, yeah, Geechee Gullah. Yep, Geechee Gullah. And so we were talking about how, at least I brought this up, how those Western Saharans and those Central Saharans who dominated in Egypt prior to this latest finding being discovered and the time frame that they were alive and living, those groups in the Western desert had already become marginalized. So those Western and Central Saharans, those cultures that were in that Western desert and who ended up migrating into the valley, some of them did, some of them migrated to the Eastern desert, they became marginalized. What does marginalized mean? They became impoverished. They went extinct. And I use marginalized in the broadest sense. So whatever you can think of, they got dominated by the groups that were back migrating back into Egypt with a lot of skills, how to farm, how to do this, how to do that. They were more prepared for war because those societies in the Middle East and Turkey, etc., they had been feuding for a very long time. Not to say that wasn't happening in Africa, but it was really, really happening in a lot of those early societies that we see, Göbekli Tepe, etc. So we have to be reminded of that those Western and Central Saharan Africans played a huge role in Egypt. They became marginalized. Hey, baby, just 1 second. I'm on the live. They became marginalized. And so we begin to see the demographics we start to see later when that body is discovered. Because those Semitic speakers, or Afro-Asiatics or Asiatics, they begin to come in and dominate. They were intermixed. They were hybridized, as we saw with the Badarians and as we saw with a lot of the later groups. But you still had a Western Saharan, a Central Saharan presence there. We can't lose sight of that. And so we have to remind others of that as well. You know what I mean? Because everybody's got a different invested interest in this conversation. I see like at least three, ideologies and the way guys are approaching this conversation.
Well, I want to track back. So let me just fix something that I said. The Sahara, it is a word that comes from Arabic that means desert. And in certain periods, like for example, the Nabta period, you can't say that the desert was in that area. Why? Because they were a cattle culture, and the cattle culture needed a savanna, a grassland to feed on, right? And so they were one of those cattle cultures. So the problem is we use these loaded words, fortunately, and sometimes we kind of misplace, and we find that we're using colonial words where there are probably better words to say. But at the time period, when you say that they are marginalized, I can say that these people admixed with other groups of people, right? Some of them separated from maybe the larger body and admixed with the in which we call Egypt, and then with Nubian populations. So there's lots of camps, bands, groups, confederations going on, and then there's those things that you have where you have tribal marriages where you marry for peace, right, and things like that. So the what I was trying to drill on is the fact of the matter is that the Sahara, as they call the desert, did not exist until parts of the old kingdom, middle kingdom. Climate started rapidly kind of changing. And so we use these loaded words, and we find ourselves later having to fix it. And we say, oh my God, not oh my God, but I got trapped into these words. But I don't disagree with you. Cedric, I got to listen to Cedric more closely to see what I agree with and what I don't agree with. So I would just wait until he continues to talk.
Yeah. So what was you? Hey, Nazir Lee, what? What did Nazir Lee say? I'm trying.
Yeah.
Hey, what? I want to listen to what? Yo, all three sides gotta be what?
So there's when you talk about the Western Sahara, y'all understand that how big the Sahara is. West of the Nile is still in Egypt. Nakada, Nabta Playa are all right there in what is modern day Egypt. That's southern Egypt, which is Upper Egypt, which became Upper Egypt. With the desertification of the Green Sahara, and when I say Green Sahara, Reggie's right, you had the pastoralist system already developed in southern Egypt. You see that the southern part, and Reggie is right, the southern part, the pastoralist, the cattle culture is fundamental to the Egyptian culture. What you got in the Delta region is a Neolithic package developing.
Mm.
And then you have 42 nomes that eventually develop along the Nile. There's a range of people. You have more influence directly, and that's over millennia in Upper Egypt, in Lower Egypt, sorry, with influence from the Levant. And we can see that with the advance with bringing goats, etc., and that begins to establish a settlement, the Fayum cultures, etc. But you had distinct developments in Upper Egypt, distinct developments. You see what later became Egypt. The root of the culture comes from the pastoralist system. It merged eventually, and you see the slow merging, and you see the creeping of the culture from south to north. However, population groups were always in these areas, and they were different groups of people. We are talking about a geography that is so large, and we narrow it down to one group of people. These are population groups with varying degrees of admixture. You see, even in Upper Egypt, you have direct trading with the Levant. So you are going to see some genetic drift also happening in Upper Egypt. This geography and what is happening in this demographic, whether these people be light, dark, whether they look more quote unquote Arabic in the near the Delta, and you see more of a Ethiopian, Somalian type phenotype more in the South, doesn't make these people and then we throw words like sub-Saharan in there, and I know why we're doing this, and I'm not gonna stand for it. These people are indigenous, homegrown African civilization. West of the Nile means you're still in the western desert of Egypt. We're not talking about west like over here. We need to stop it. This is why we get discredited, because we sound like some blackologists trying to squeeze our way some way in there. Well, they were black. Well, they what and what? The Southern Indians are black. Means you're a Southern Indian. we have genetic links to Southern India now. Those people are black.
Well, Cedric, what I would say is that I don't think that nobody on this particular panel, we all have nuances, but nobody on this particular panel right now, I think, pushes that.
Freeze. Nobody in this panel pushes that. Kemp, what's up, man? I'm
Yo,
man.
what it do, man? What's happening with you?
Kick though.
Good.
I
What's
see
good,
y'all talking
man?
about my favorite subject again.
No, that ain't your favorite. Yeah, you know that's how we get the
No, I was messing.
What's up, man? Talk to anything you want to talk about.
Nah, ain't nothing, man. So I gotta go back and watch the video you did with Kazende, man. I think I know that was a powerful one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back and watch that. I didn't even know you posted it, but no, I just
you
came to show some.
though. You know, you was there though.
Oh, already
Through the thick and
Hey.
thin, through the white
Y'all
wall.
look when y'all was painting when y'all painting the tree on the wall and signing names. So yeah, I remember all that.
Right. So
Sister
Sci-Fi, what's up with you? Sister Sci-Fi, listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to understand that. That's what men do sometimes. Sometimes we got to look other men in the face, eye to eye, and make them bow down to reality. Sometimes this accent ain't gonna work. Sometimes you got to deal with the bully straight up.
I think they say it so much. I think he said it so much to where he actually started believing it a little bit, saying that you ain't had no story. You know? I don't know if you want.
Yeah, I don't want to say don't. It's the treaties. That name cannot be spoken on my channel.
No, I wouldn't
say his name out my mouth, yo. I'm gonna give the best rendition of myself.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is a treatise. It has to be. But yeah, some people believe to the bottom of their heart. Broke their heart tonight. A heartbreaker. Father say, son, you're a heartbreaker. Let me stop.
Nah, I just came to show a little support, man. So yeah, call me up here.
Black to Egypt again. We know we live on the Pseudo Killers too. Pseudo Killers, man, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Black to Egypt. Nazir Lee, what was you saying? It sounded like you was a little scramble jamble, yo. What was you trying to do, bro? I'm focusing on you now. Cedric, what that man say, man? I know y'all heard. All sides need to do what?
I said, listen, you got people right now making career-making videos right now based off these latest genetic results, right? On all sides, yes. Because now you've got modern populations, those who are related to the modern populations, cousins, relatives, distant cousins and relatives of the population we see there now. They're saying, see, we've been justified. We've been saying this all along, that the modern population was the ancient population.
Nah, that's not what they're saying like that.
No, I understand that.
Oh, yeah, it's not saying that.
But that's what they're saying now.
Yeah, they just make
that's
just
what
saying
they're
they more closely related. Like, of course they supposed to be close. Of course. They live right there. Just like right now, if you was to see a Native American and took his DNA and then exhumed the body of a 20,000-year-old Native American, that Native American from the day would be more closely related to that Native American from 30,000 years ago, but they would have a different influx of genetic signatures. Is obvious. You would have some will have some African in them, and some would have different colonial powers that mixed in with them. But fundamentally speaking, they would still be that population. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why people don't understand that, bro. Like that's a crazy thing that people refuse to see because they don't want to see it. You feel me? They don't want to see that. So that's never been in flux right there.
And that's why I said during that Green Sahara videos you were doing, it was like a series. We were discussing that. But also for the other side who likes to come down the middle like you, right? You're kind of in the middle, right? You're just
I'm just with the literature.
That's what I'm saying. You're coming from the literature perspective.
That's it.
You're taking the middle ground, but at the same time, it's dangerous for both sides to forget about that there were other participants, Western Saharans, Central Saharans.
What do you mean by
that
Western Sahara?
that were in
What
Egypt?
do you
That
mean
were in
by
Egypt.
Western Sahara?
Okay, this is what I mean.
In Egypt, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, because you've got a
Western Sahara is
specific.
still Northeast Africa.
When I say Western Sahara, that would be West Africa.
No,
Okay.
stop.
So when I say Central Saharan,
Yeah,
when I say Central Saharan, that would be parts
No.
of West Africa and also parts of Central
And
Africa
you
going
see,
into
Reggie,
North
Yeah,
Africa.
we figured it out. I knew it was somewhere in there.
You see why I said what I said, Reggie? Because I heard him.
We
Yeah,
shouldn't even. Dr. Reggie's
West
not
of the
gonna
Nile,
fall for that.
west
Cedric.
of the Nile
I
is
know Dr.
Reggie's
Reggie.
not gonna fall for that.
east.
And you
Cedric.
should be.
Hey,
You should be
Cedric.
more. You should be more
Hey, Cedric,
mature
listen.
in your study
I
of
know
the Sahara.
Dr. Reggie would
Brother
definitely be more
Reggie,
close
Brother
to
Reggie,
that.
Brother Reggie.
No. Dr. Reggie be more close to that than Brother Reggie. But Dr. Reggie, he's definitely on that ilk.
Listen, I was never a new. Watch this. That's right, but I was never a Nuwabian. I was never a Nuwabian at all. So
I heard him. And you said nobody on this panel, Reggie. You said nobody on this panel, Reggie. And I heard him, Reggie. I got him.
Reggie ain't falling
He
for
was
that.
in Africa while I was
He's
in
not gonna fall for
Nuwabo.
that, Cedric.
You take a trip to Africa while I was in Nuwabo. I went semi-low. He went extra low. That's all right. I ain't mad.
The Western Saharan Desert, in reference to the Nile,
You gotta stop that.
Northeast Africa.
What I need to name? What I need to name the culture?
Naphtaliya is still Northeast Africa. Ain't got nothing to do with
what are you talking about?
West Central African jungle monkey.
I'm in West Africa, Cedric. You are not.
I'm a West Central African jungle monkey. Northeast Africans are distinct.
A monkey.
Oh, what the hell was that? Slow down. 1 second. We have a West African jungle monkey on the panel. I don't know who that is. He tripped.
Look like a,
not even a great ape. Not even a great ape, bro.
He bypassed the chimp.
Silverback chimpanzee.
He said a jungle monkey. They ain't for the most part.
That sounded racist.
Hey, yo, hold on. We want to slow it down for a minute. We want to dissect that statement there.
Listen,
you went back 40 million years.
I'm a West Central jungle monkey, and Northeast Africans are desert worms. We are a distinct population.
They said that sounds like self-hatred right there, man.
The message in the views have been supported by the pseudo killers. Striking for the record, we are not
expertise in that area, Cedric.
Well, lost his mind. He got hyped up there.
Just say you don't have
the microphone
in that area.
I'm trying to just emphasize the point that we are a distinct population. My brother Nazir, we are a distinct population. When you talk about West Desert, that is still Northeast Africa.
I know, yo, but you went jungle, and then you went monkeys.
So if you're speaking,
they're gonna have him like
you're speaking on the Western Desert.
Profile. Look, here's the profile.
Naphtali and the rest of them is gonna get you for that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna clip that.
They're gonna say, see, I knew it. They've been keeping it from us. He finally admitted they jungle monkeys. We knew it. They was hiding it. Man, bro. Hey, the views are not shared by the panel. I don't know what kind of inference he was making there, but it was very monkeyish. Somewhere in the jungles and monkeys. Somewhere in Asia.
Just say you don't have expertise in that area, brother.
No,
that's all.
I'm telling you again.
I
heard you doing it. You're making a geographical error. Northeast Africa. When you say Western, they moved from the Western Sahara. That is west of the Nile, my brother. You're still in Northeast Africa. And if you understand genetics,
none of that is in debate.
Understand evolution, that's a distinct population from Southern Africans, from West Central Africans, So this is the heart of the conversation, Reggie. This right here. This is why when I and you probably say the culture moved from south to north, these are thinking that we're out of Northeast Africa. We're still in Northeast Africa.
Well,
We didn't move from
That's not up for
Northeast
debate.
Africa.
That's not up for debate.
okay.
Nobody. That's why I'm trying to figure out what is you talking about.
You just said West Africa, my brother. You just said that.
Well,
I said Western
You said
Saharans
the jungle.
and Central Saharans
Oh, crazy.
played a part in early Egypt. That's what I said. From
And
the western, from by way of the Western Desert, when they migrated from the Western and Central Sahara and
okay.
went into the Western Desert,
Mm-mm.
they
Now,
they were highly influential on the area before they
now,
became marginalized.
now,
So all I
Nazir
said
Lee.
was,
Not
let's
bad.
not lose sight of that because of this
Okay.
one body.
We can't
That's
Nazir
what I
Lee.
said.
Well, what I was trying to say
lose
is
sight of
that
it, yo. We can't even see it. We lose the sight. We can't even see that. We
what
try
I was trying to say, hey,
to
Nazir Lee,
be easy to
3,000 from 6,000 to 3,000, right? You have kind of loss of range and the drying up, right? 3,000 BC, right? Then you start to 3,000 BC, then you start to see more what you call desert, right? The so so the time period, the problem is that remember there's a cattle culture, a huge cattle culture in before it starts drying up, and that cattle culture is not Egyptian. It's all throughout Africa, right? North Africa, North Africa, right? It's
Yeah.
so it's all there, and so the Nabta culture is a cattle culture, and they find their way into that region very, very close, and they're coming from the Green Sahara groups of that are moving from the Green Sahara, right down into these areas, and then they will mix with uh, the more southern populations of Nubia, and because these populations have been isolated for a while, so they re-enter into the fold. They mix with the Nubians, and then they also at the same time move closer to the Nile, right? So bands and groups go to the Nile because the Nile now is changing. The Nile was really, really kind of like brutal, and so now that the Nile seems to get kind of tame where people can come close to it because you got wild animals there, you got a whole bunch of stuff, you got insects there, and you got uh, flash floods, and you got all this type of stuff going on. So these people are hanging out really around like wadis in the Yellow Nile, right? Until this thing I think gets tame. But these are populations of people that were once isolated, uh, kind of isolated, stagnant where they were, being forced to move because of climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no desert. So when they're moving, the desert, uh, the desertification is beginning to happen. That's why they're moving. But there is the West, when we think of the Western desert, we think of periods in Egypt where there is now desert. Uh, prior to that, it was still not. I'm not going to say aquatic, but it was grasslands with lakes and wadis and things like that that disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah. More so oases.
Okay, our oasis is plus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then all of that begins. So when we start talking about the what you call the Western Desert, the again we get caught up in colonial thinking.
Share my screen now.
No, Reggie. Let me
All
stop
right.
you because you made an excellent point, bro. You said that you kind of made it a monolithic thing, like those groups. All
Many
the
groups,
groups,
many,
but hold on, a lot of groups didn't go, and
no,
that's part of the problem, and that's what we spoke about during the Green Sahara. I
yeah.
brought that out. I
Some went to
showed how
Niger. Mhm,
the groups that didn't go, that
mhm.
didn't become more urbanized, and tried to stay like in those old cattle cult type, wild game catching individuals that did not want to adapt to the new environment. They stayed in the Western Desert, became impoverished, became marginalized. Many groups went extinct because they couldn't compete with the other groups. The records are there.
Share
The
my
records
screen
are
when
there.
you get a chance.
So I just wanted to add that before you get to 3000 BCE, because there's a lot we missed and we look over. Those groups that came out of the Sahara, they did not adapt. And we can apply that same the way we can look at the world today when we look at blacks in America today. I mean, it's kind of the same
Well,
thing is going on.
okay.
Where they're not adapting to, whether it be technological changes, whether it be environmental changes, they're not adapting. The same thing happened with those individuals in the Western Desert, and for many cases, for people in the Eastern Desert. Can't forget about those people,
They
because
weren't. There was
everybody
no
didn't go to the
desert
Nile,
then.
Reggie. Everybody didn't go to the Nile, but those
No,
who did go to the
you're
Nile,
right.
they
But
end up flourishing, and a lot of times they come back out to the desert and take advantage of their former
Share my
cousins. Hold on,
screen,
wait. They
please.
take advantage. Hold on. They take
I don't
advantage
see
of
it,
their
yo.
former.
Oh.
They take advantage of their former cousins, their former brethren and sister.
Brethren.
They take advantage of them because these groups were interrelated prior to them migrating to the Nile. They were socializing and dealing with one another.
So stop.
Yeah, you gotta stop
So
that.
look, Western Desert. You see where the Nile is? All right. Upper Egypt. You see where Upper Egypt is? You see where Nabta is?
Yeah.
You see where Nubia is?
Uh-huh.
This is all Northeast Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Post-desertification, this is a distinct group of people. And there always was a distinct group of people if you have an understanding of evolution. Look at the vastness of this area. Look where the Libyan desert is. Y'all, listen. Don't have these conversations if you don't pull up a map.
You do know.
No,
that there were times people weren't living in those areas, right?
Be quiet.
You do know that, right?
Right, relax.
Be quiet.
Hold on, everybody, relax. We're gonna show another one. This the one. This the famous one that everybody ducked. It's the famous one that everybody ducked. And then we got some people join the panel. We want to let them chime into the conversation, man. All right, this the one that everybody ducked. It's the first one I showed early in the conversation, and I always knew I could come back to it. These red dots right here are actually the archaeological surveys in that area. Y'all see it very closely. Y'all see at before 8,500 BCE. The desert is there strong, and they're living in Sudan and what they call Egypt, right? And look at the whole dots. These are the actual sites during this time period. The population is very heavy in southern and northern Sudan. Okay, very heavy. Then they fan out 8,000 when it starts to get green again. Okay. Now, if you look to the bottom, if you come all the way to during pharaonic times, you'll see that these people down here, they are the last one. I'm talking about map D, right? Their area is still green, so they don't have to gravitate towards the Nile. They don't have to. All right, it's a dangerous place to be. Yeah, they pastoralists. They good. Okay, but just look at it, and so we don't have to go all the way to West Africa to see the population. Right? There's a Northeast African population at this point. It's right here. You can read it. And I think the thing that I really like to bring forth is when people was talking crazy, right? If you look at this screen right here, what you'll see is it stops all the crazy, right? We talk about this. Aldam, Kisba. Y'all see that? Napta Kista. All right, that's Napta. Y'all know Napta Playa and Kisba, right? And you see cattle there. All right. They're trying to figure out like exactly what. But look at that. All the way close to maybe 8,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And so I mean, we not playing. Y'all playing. I've been knew I had y'all. I keep saying.
Hey, who?
It's chess, not checkers. Hit bells holler.
I just want to make sure who.
Not talk. I don't gotta say who. Anybody that's been talking that talk.
Oh,
Anybody that's been talking that talk about this, that. No, I've been had the archaeological surveys. Gif Kabir. Y'all don't know what the hell it is. We talk about the rock out there, Gif Kabir.
Yes, that's in Libya.
Yeah,
Right.
let's talk about who those people are. Who those people
But I'm
are.
saying we not, but I just want to just make this main occupations, right? Y'all can see it is all here. Right. So we look at the timeline. So I ain't never was playing. I was always coming from a scientific perspective. Y'all just wasn't understanding it.
And
y'all rather just
but
we understand the genetic makeup of the North African population. We understand
that population we're talking about right now.
North African,
that's not the same population.
African
That's not the same population.
The North African population go back almost 25,000 years.
Yeah, but it's not a monolithic, bro. You making it a monolithic.
No, nobody.
Let's call it what it is. Those people were migrants. Let's call it what it is. They were migrants. They were migrants in that area.
If you look at the map, North Africa spans from Morocco, come all the way over to Egypt.
So let's call it what it is. They're immigrants. They're migrants.
I'm done. Let's
stop playing this game. They're Northeast African. So every zone I enter into,
African James on the panel.
Every zone I enter into, that makes me that.
The level of conversation I don't have. Period. Not me.
All right. Let's get. Where you at? Joseph. Am I saying that right? What's up, brother?
What's up? Good night, brother Reggie. Good night,
Good night.
I say good night. Good night. That's like getting off or something. What the hell is that?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What are we?
The hell is going? You can't say good night. You gotta say what's up.
Good evening or something.
Good evening or something. Good night. All right. See you later, bro.
What are we arguing tonight on?
All right, man. Good night, man. He's out of here. He said good night.
Oh man.
Now I'm playing with you. I'm joking.
So what is the argument tonight, brother? What is the argument tonight? Because I came in late. So.
No, just whatever you want to talk about. You got Black Egypt in your heart.
It's just Cedric agrees with Nazir, but he don't know it yet. That's all.
Cedric pulled up a map and he's talking crazy because the map is anachronistic. There was no Upper Egypt, no Lower Egypt, or Sudan at the time we're talking about. It's an anachronistic map, and he doesn't even know that, but he's going to argue. And he's calling people blackologists. So I don't understand that.
He basically saying as soon as you step in a new zone, you become that. That's basically what he's saying.
So a map that's anachronistic, Brother Nazir. The map does not apply to the time period we're talking about. There was no Upper Egypt, no Lower Egypt, or Nubia. So what did he bring the map up for? What is he showing?
He brought the map. He brought the map because he's trying to say that it was all a Northeast African culture, which nobody is arguing or denying. My whole thing is what makes up this Northeast African culture are migrants from other areas.
That's foolishness.
That's what I'm saying. Don't lose sight of.
You're wrong.
In our conversations. Along with the indigenous populations that were already there, you had migrants.
You're wrong.
We spoke about this already, bro. I got the facts. What are you talking about?
You're wrong. They were no migrants. Nubians are not migrants.
Okay. Have you heard?
You muted.
Have you heard of
Just for clarity, I indicate the geography didn't change. What is anachronistic about the geography that I pointed out? I was just indicating where the conversation is taking place. So how is
the name that you put up
the geography changed?
I said the name you put up an anachronistic. There was no such thing as Upper Egypt.
You're using the term out of context because the Western Desert is where it is. The Eastern Desert still is where it is. Anachronistic highlighting where this geographical conversation is taking place. Naphtaliah on that map is still where Naphtaliah is. Anachronistic is a part of any conversation.
Anachronistic.
You make saying it 3 and 4 times doesn't make it any more. I illustrated why your claim of anachronism is incorrect.
What was the point of bringing it up?
Please, you're trying to make a cute statement.
What was the point of bringing it up there?
That's
What
a
was the point of bringing it
non-sequitur,
up?
my friend.
What
The
was the point of
objective
bringing it
of
up?
pulling up the map was to indicate where the Western Desert was. I pointed also out where
We didn't know that.
Napa is, illustrating that this
We
is
didn't know
within
that.
the confinement of what is
We
Northeast
didn't know that.
Africa. So
We didn't
what
know that.
anachronistic
We didn't know
about
that. Cedric, we didn't know that. You had to tell us that because we can't read a map. We knew that already.
so that was anachronistic?
So what is the point? We knew that already. So what is the point? What is the point?
Cedric, he arguing to be arguing, man.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm asking what is his point?
No, I'm talking about Cedric. I'm talking about Cedric
But
arguing to
that's-
be arguing.
Y'all look silly.
We know that already.
That's what got y'all panties in the
What's the
bucket, right? Y'all
What's
ain't
the
ready for this level of conversation. This ain't
What
a
was the
blackologist environment, my friends.
You actually
If you come
agreeing
here-
with what we're
if you
saying,
come in
Cedric.
here with the inability to understand geography
point?
without the comprehension of evolution, if
That's
you
the
don't understand that for 20,000 years, the Northeast African genetic makeup was distinct from other populations around Africa, just as the southern
Hold on,
genetic
wait.
population is distinct
At
from
what
other
year?
groups, right?
What are you arguing?
What year?
Kenyan
What year are
population,
you saying
their
it comes?
genetic makeup is distinct from other populations. Now,
What
you're
are you
basically, if you do not understand evolution, why are you on this panel? If
This
you're
is not
based on
evolution.
understanding of geography, which I knew
is
the
not
brother would be ignorant about,
This is
that
not an evolution conversation. And there's where you're getting it
you
wrong.
don't even know where
It's not
the
an
Western
evolution
Desert is. What
Well, you
are you
showed us that.
talking about?
You showed us that,
You don't
Cedric.
even understand
You showed
where
us that.
the
What was
Western
your point?
Desert is.
You showed us that
What
already.
are you talking
What was
about?
your point? You showed us that
What are
already.
you talking about?
You showed us that already. We heard you. So what's your point now? What's your point now?
Exactly. I made my
What
point.
is your point now?
You don't understand the point.
Your
That's
point is
on
you're
you.
trying to sound right and
If
insult.
you don't understand the point, that's on you, my brother. And one mic. You can't understand the point because if I'm making the point and you're babbling, you don't understand the point.
You're not making a point. You're trying to sound intelligent and insult
No,
other people.
you come on here claiming that my position was pulling up a map was anachronistic. That's a ludicrous statement. You're the one who's trying to be. Who's trying to say, again, it's not the player anywhere else on the map.
Can we get back to the information now?
Did not the player move on the map?
You're not listening to what I'm saying, though. You're making up
Answer the question. Answer the question. So we are going to establish whether or not me using the map was ananachronistic. Did not the player move its position on any map? Did the geography change? Do you have the ability to
hold on, I think y'all talking at the same time. So
bro, answer my question.
Hey, Jose, he gonna ask you a question real quick. Go ahead.
You made a claim that my bringing up you see again, no discipline. You made a claim that me bringing up the map was anachronistic. Now I have a couple of questions for you. Where Napa is on that map? Is that anachronistic or is that this?
All right. Hey, look, this we're gonna have to do. No, hold on. Everybody be quiet. We sound like we done lost our mind.
I didn't say
What we
that.
have to do, hold on.
Never heard you say that.
Hold on for a minute, man. What we have to do is we can't sound like that. Nobody can hear what the hell y'all saying at this point. For what? So, new rules, yo. If you're talking too long, you're wrong, yo. Put the clock in your head, yo. We all on the clock. Make your statements clear and concise, right? Let the next person respond, right? And allow somebody else go in, yo. This can't work this way.
Okay, all right, Uncle. Let me clarify my statement. I said when he pulled up the map, Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, and Nubia are anachronistic names. I didn't say the map was anachronistic. That's not what I said.
Well, I mean, but why is that important, though? Is this a placeholder, though? Yo?
Non sequitur.
It's a place. Right. Listen, it's actually a placeholder, bro. We understand that modern borders, right, doesn't have to coincide with ancient borders. I swear, bro. Like we up on our game right here, yo. You get it?
When you pull up the map, you talk to us as if we don't know where North Africa is. And someone's arguing that it's not North Africa.
Bro,
I
was addressing Nazir and his claim that Western Desert means they come from West Africa. Right. So I pulled up the map to illustrate where the Western Desert was. And you claim that as anachronistic. That makes no sense.
I apologize, Cedric. I didn't know you asked anybody, so I
Hey,
apologize.
hey, let me
Sorry, bro.
clarify. Hey, this is
I thought he
Nazir
kept it
Cedric.
over.
I never said the Western Desert was Western Africa. Just for clarity, I never said that. What I said was is that Western Saharans and Central Saharans both migrate to the Western Desert, and when they got to the Western Desert, some of them also migrate to the Delta and to the Eastern Desert. That's what I said. Never said nothing about the Western Desert was part of West Africa or nothing like that. Now, when you asked me, then you asked me this. You said, "Well, what is the Western Sahara?" And I said, "Well, hell, what is it on the map? It's Western Africa."
Okay. So you double, you spin around, spin the
I
block,
never said.
and come back to the
I'm
same
just trying
thing.
to clear that up.
Anyway,
That was
you,
all.
you cleared it up perfectly. You spin the block and we landed on the same place. So my point was relevant. Pull back up the map again and go through those three maps again so this man can understand migration routes and we understand what these settlements are. Again, them pulled up the map so you can understand what geography
So
means.
do
And
you
if you,
disagree?
oh boy,
Do you
okay, go ahead,
disagree with
go
me?
ahead, go ahead. You need to
No,
talk. Go
because
ahead.
I'm just trying to
No,
see
no,
what you're
you go
saying.
ahead, go ahead, go
You're
ahead, go
trying
ahead.
to show me the map of the
No, no,
Western
no,
Desert.
you
I just
don't
asked
let
that.
me finish saying what I'm
Okay, go
saying and
ahead.
then tell
Let
me
me
what
know if
I'm
you
trying to
Nah,
say.
yo,
disagree
hold
then.
on,
Y'all make
bro.
it
Hold
crazy.
on, bro. Ain't nowhere in the world, yo. This ain't what we doing, yo. It don't even mean it like that, yo. It don't mean it like that, yo. Nah, it don't mean it like that, yo. Yeah,
Just all I want to know is, do you disagree with me or not? And then we can go from there.
yeah. Disagree with what? Do I
Does
disagree
he
with what?
disagree with the statement that I made? Because he's
Yeah,
showing
ain't
a
nobody
map.
from West
Okay,
Africa in Egypt.
well, speak on
And
it
if
and
you can't,
clarify.
yeah, I
Tell
don't
me,
gotta speak on that. There's
not
two.
you, him.
Oh, go
If
ahead,
you disagree with me, then let's go.
go
Talk.
ahead, Cedric.
Educate.
I'm not, go ahead. I'm done. You know, my patience is good. I'm gonna do my lectures. I can't do this. I ain't got a patience.
Nah, he letting you talk though. Say go ahead.
I'm saying educate, bro. If you
Hey,
saying
yo,
I'm wrong,
you
educate.
know, if Pan African James is agreeing with you, you in trouble, yo.
Because
Listen, he said they act
I
like
can name the
Africans don't migrate. That's a hell of a migration right
Hey
there.
Cedric, I can name the cultures that go from Western Saharan, Central Saharan to Egypt. It's called the Onanian culture, bro. I can tell you specifically where they went in the Western Desert, at what time frame they disappeared from the Western and the Eastern Desert and the Fayum. So I'm saying, if you saying I'm wrong, then okay, point that out, bro. Where your sources at? I said the Onanian culture were in the Western Desert. Where does the Onanian culture originate? The Western Sahara and Central Sahara. So I'm saying, what are you talking about? You just been talking for like 30, 40 minutes, and I'm like, okay, do you agree? Do you disagree? That's all I was trying to see. You was just going on talking and ranting. I'm like, what is he talking about? So I named the culture, bro. I showed and proved. I named the culture. And all I said, my whole point in naming that culture was just to say, let's not lose sight of who was in that Western Desert. So prior to that the new genetic survey they put out recently, right? Let's not let that fool us into
You mean
thinking
the
that
genome?
represents, yeah,
You
the genome,
mean the
the genetic
genome?
survey, the genetic survey. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but it's just not a genetic survey. It's the genome. It's a genome. It's not something that could be wrong. It's not a survey that went around just people making up shit.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt,
It's a
no doubt,
it's a
no doubt.
scientific survey. It holds weight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It literally
And
should
it's
end this
one.
debate, but y'all won't let it go. I don't know about you, Nazir, but a lot of people won't let it go. Their
No,
bias
they
won't
not.
let it go.
They're not gonna let it go because they're basically weaponizing it. That's kind of the point I was making, is that it's being weaponized by
Yeah, I
pretty
don't
much
see
all
that.
all sides, by all
How's
sides.
it?
Like you,
But if the genome is not weaponized, what is the genome weaponizing though?
it's giving ammunition to groups of people to say on one side that says, you see that the modern population and their distant relatives represent the ancient Egyptian culture going all the way back to 4000 BCE. This is what they're using this as ammunition for.
But it does.
That's one group.
All populations change over time.
We
But
have
I'm gonna finish. Nobody don't interrupt me. I'll just drop you because I definitely don't have the patience. But it does. All populations are gonna change. You're gonna have outsiders admixing and different things like that. There are certain things that are gonna change about it. But initially, that is the population that was there. There's been no replacement of the population. None. It might be some haplogroups change because now you have more what is it, Western Asian women coming into the mix, but other than that the population is what it is. I think it's always been like Western Asian women in population. I really don't do Egypt. I just know bits and pieces, so I'm not the one to debate. But when it comes to the genetics, I really don't know, but I do know when it comes to that Egyptian genome or what it's saying about the population, that's fact.
okay. Now
I'm
you had
not
a
gonna
recent.
debate. I'm not gonna debate, you know. I mean, and it's like if you've been to Egypt, like, if you've been to Cairo, to Luxor, to Aswan, like you can actually see the things that we've been saying, community of skeptics and pseudo killers. You can see the things about the importance of the Nile by just looking at the geography. It just makes perfect logic. Like, how could that not be what it is? You go 10 miles in the desert, your ass gonna be lost, unless you have some type of, ancestral knowledge or knowledge of where oases are found, you're going to die. Easy. I won't even say 10, I'll say 3 to 5 miles. It's no joke, right? The gradient of the people's skin tone specifically goes lighter to darker from Lower Egypt to Upper. That means from Cairo to Aswan. That's how it looks. There's people there that are darker than me. They're not necessarily Nubian. Do have some people there that claim Nubian, but from the geography, Nubian is still in the scope of Egypt as far as geographical. From if that's some of the ancient maps, so it's still in it's still in this. Those people are still in that region. Okay, so it wasn't those people were miles apart. Nubia would still be like in the boundaries what we call modern day Egypt.
I would like to add to your point. Okay, so one of the things that we have to agree or disagree whether or not at the beginning of the Old Kingdom was there desert, right? And that is something that we are going to have to deal with, because currently we call things like the Western Desert because it's the Western Desert now. But if we look at the map that Ankh showed, my cattle map, we know that there were pastoralists in here, and that it could not have been desert because of the cattle. Now, then with populations, we're looking at hundreds of years, or 1,000 years of people coming into that area, and with all different type of cultures: the Greeks, the Greeks, the Romans, the people from the Levant, right? And so unfortunately, if we look at the populations today, it did not look like it looked 5,000 years ago. It did not look like that. So we get fooled by the current population, the phenotypes and things of the clines of the current population that's there now, but it didn't look like that then, right? And so these are the things that we have to kind of deal with, right? And so a lot of people make the mistake, and we started using terms like Western Desert. That's fine, Eastern Desert, that's fine. But 3000 BCE, it wasn't desert like that. It was beginning to be desert, and that forced a rapid change on human populations as to where they go and then who they outmix with. But this population that's there right now, right, no matter what it looks like, that population came with the uh,
What's going on 3000 BCE in the Delta, and way before that, Reggie, before Egypt is established, you have permanent settlements along the Nile, including including in the Delta. What's
I'm
the
not
population?
finished. Y'all
I'm
had
sorry.
y'all time to talk. I'm gonna get my time. Reggie, you said something about it was green. It wasn't desert. What time period are you talking about?
uh, 3000 BC, at the beginning of the time, the time period of, let's say, Norma, pre-dynastic. It wasn't a desert. It
That's
wasn't the desert.
I disagree to that, but go ahead.
So, because I'm the reason why I'm asking, because how would they be giving? How would this black silt um kind of worshiping come about, or deviation come about, if they didn't have the desert?
Um, the uh, uh, um, the problem with um, um, the silt, the black silt and stuff like that. Uh, uh, because I do other work and I'm on other channels. Like, I have a problem with that. It's they deify animals and they deify humans and they deify ancestors. Um, the the
No,
the
they deify the black silt um in a
um,
powerful way. Like, you
how
can't deny that. I
I'm
understand
gonna
that they
deny it.
deify other things, but the black silt, Osiris being black, and in
That's not
reference to
silt.
that.
That's not silt. So the problem is then you
Well,
have to,
doesn't he? Well, isn't he green? Isn't he green for what? Maybe I'm
huh?
getting it wrong.
Yeah,
Fertility.
What? He's
yeah,
also represented as green also.
yeah,
And
Yeah, he's a
what is he
fertility
represented as
deity.
green for?
Fertility.
yeah.
Huh?
Vegetation.
For what?
Vegetation.
Fertility.
Vegetation,
Fertility.
For what? One person,
vegetation.
please. God, Lee. What?
It's vegetation.
Fertility.
Exactly. Okay. I just got it confused. I think black is what? The afterlife, death, or something like that.
Well,
But
he's identified. No, he's identified.
but
His name is Kim Ware, right? So he's one of his attributes is Kim Ware, right? And that seems to point to the cattle cult, right?
nah, Reggie,
So
we not gonna do the cattle cult. I'm gonna get off of that. You can have that for your show. But yeah, I said my two
his
cents.
name is Kim Ware, and there's no text that relates Kim Ware to Silk. You can see Kim Ware with the great black bull.
Hey,
You can see
Julanda,
the attributes.
You mentioned Osiris, right?
No,
Yes, because
no, I don't want on that.
Huh?
All right,
Hold
really?
on, hold on. I just want to ask.
Oh yeah, Reggie, you gotta stop scamming. You scamming with
Hold on,
that. You
hold
don't
yeah,
on,
scam.
because
Don't ever,
Osiris is
hold on.
don't ever.
represented
Hold on. Jolanda made a
as
good point.
green.
Intellectually, you did that, bro. Trust
Hey,
me, bro.
Yeah,
No,
because
I'm not trusting you. You
he's
show
hold
me a
on,
represented
man.
as
show me a
green
source.
and
Hold
black.
on,
Shut
y'all.
up or
Not
shut
Hold
up.
on,
dumb,
hold
but
on,
it's
y'all.
just
Hold
not
on.
my thing.
I
But
think
I
she had
know
a
damn
point.
well that
I think.
they seriously deify that black silk.
Hold on,
No,
And
you
you
like
can
get
I
the
looked it up.
veg.
Hold on, I looked
I'm
it
just
up. It
talking to the
said,
audience, and you definitely get the vegetation from that.
it said,
Like, that's serious.
yeah. It said Osiris, god of agriculture and rebirth. Right? Am I right on that?
Exactly. The silk represents that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
Sometimes
Where did they
associated.
say
Black is
and
silk?
black,
fertility.
Hold on,
Thank
and
Jolanda.
you.
Hold on.
cloud,
I know I
and
ain't
cloud,
stupid.
Sometimes
Black
and
is
cloud
associated
is a
with
I'll
prophet.
fertility.
be right back. I'll be
hold,
right
Green
back.
hold
is
on.
for rebirth, but the silk represents that too. Come on,
All
y'all
right.
gotta stop
And
playing
Exactly.
look,
with me.
and sometimes associated with the
Thank you,
cycles of the
Mel.
Nile, cycles of the Nile and the fertile land it produced. Is that correct?
Yep. And he talking about
Thank
cows.
you.
Cows are attracted to fertile lands and grassy, you know what I'm saying, pastures anyway.
So
Say that
I could
again,
talk.
Gullah.
I said cattle are attracted to fertile and pastoral lands anyway, so the cow will be represented too. It wouldn't just be one thing. The cows, the fertile land gonna bring the cows.
Yeah, but I was talking about how the ancient Egyptians deified the
Yeah,
black silt.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And I was showing that
yeah,
importance because people want to say
exactly.
like other
Let me.
things. And then
That,
we were talking about the genome because people want to say the ancient population ain't the population that's there today. And it's like that genome should have like put a nail in the coffin
Yeah,
for this conversation, but it
that
hasn't.
is
exactly.
So
Yeah.
now we really gotta shine a light on it. Lucky for you, brother Reggie, you my brother, you in pseudo witness protection, but everybody else, like, we definitely gotta come for y'all at this point
I
can
mean,
I
because
does
say
he hold on? But does he
there's
disagree
just
with the
no
brother?
excuse, but you are a blackologist to the fullest,
Stop
and
it,
that's just
Drew.
not going to work because when we continue to romanticize Africa, and Africa's all black and everything black. I mean, it's too many problems with that. One, Africa is not black. Africa is African, okay, with African people. So there's just so many issues with that, and we really have to get past that and teach honestly and truthfully, especially for our
Which of
babies.
you people would want to debate me on this? Because
Why you?
I will debate you because
Hey
if you
Reggie.
don't know the
Hold on,
bullnose,
let him
Hey
go.
Reggie. Hey
Yeah,
Reggie.
I'm
you
not
don't know the
debating Reggie. I'm
bullnose,
not big
I'll
on
take you
Egypt.
on.
Hold on.
I be
I'll take
big
Hey
on
you.
West
Reggie. Hey
Africa,
Reggie,
and I still
listen.
have a lot to learn.
I'll take
So.
you.
Listen,
Oh
Reggie.
man.
Listen, Reggie. Fee 545. If people will pay to see me and you debate,
Uh
I
oh.
will beat you down
Uh oh.
on the name of Kemet without reading no meta nature.
In the
I will
name.
finish your career. If they
Oh.
willing to pay for it, right, I will beat you down.
Mm.
Broken down to the very last compound. You're not ready for the
That
conversation.
sounds like a Baltimore how can I say I think that's a Baltimore stretch. I think the fact of the matter, if you don't read no meta
I
nature
don't need
Mm.
you.
and you don't show me no text,
Yeah,
Mm.
but
then all you're gonna get to is logic. I
I
will
think that's a faulty premise because language is
Mhm.
not the only part of a
Mm.
culture. That's
Thank
why in
you.
Egyptology, you don't just have linguists, right? You
Come
have
on now.
archaeologists, you
Mhm.
have all
Exactly.
types of other
Mhm.
fields that
Mhm.
connect with dealing with ancient people and their culture.
can I
No offense, Reggie.
can
But
I
I
say
have a,
something?
Yeah, you gonna say
I
no
now
offense
I
and then
take
don't
slap.
offense to that because
I don't
other people use that as
Mhm.
they try to pigeonhole Egypt into that language. And you already know,
I'm
me
not
and you
no
talked about
I'm
this,
using
Hey
Reggie.
Drew.
And,
Hey
and
Drew, you
then they
can't.
just want to dive off on the TLA. The TLA is a good resource.
Hey,
It's
hey
something
Drew.
somebody told
but
me
I
about.
just need to
But
see
but
Hey
your
Drew.
but wait a
sources.
minute.
Hey
Let
Drew,
me
you
finish.
can't say no offense and then
Please
slap him in the
don't
mouth.
get upset with me. Let
Yes,
me
you can.
finish. But you know that I
You
have
can.
it. You know that I have in
Yes,
my in my little source stockpile all the other Egyptian sources and dictionaries because I've learned that. I've got some from you and I've got plenty from
Mm.
Ujao. And TLA is
Mm.
not the first one on the list. The Vigus is one of them. We know that. Let me see if I can name them. I haven't been feeling good, so
Come on,
when I
man.
don't feel good, my memory goes shot.
Walker's a
Like,
good one too.
like Jordan when he had got the flu in the game. Go
Well, I
ahead,
know the
Drew.
Vigus is a good one.
Faulkner too.
Faulkner is a good one.
Mhm.
Somebody give me one. It's like three, four more. It's not
I
the
can.
TLA though. These are Garner. Did I say that? Faulkner, Garner.
Yeah, Gardner signed this.
Yeah, Garner, Faulkner. Y'all can give me some in the
Yeah,
chat.
James P.
These are
Allen. James
these are
P. Allen.
Budge. He's a good.
James P.
Nah,
I
Allen.
mean, you
no,
got to
Budge
be
is not a good. No,
careful.
Budge is not a good
You got to
discriminator.
be careful with Budge, but he's still a good
Budge is not
one.
good for measuring nature. No, but Budge is not
Okay.
good for measuring nature.
Waterbach, thank you. Or Waterbush. That's a really good one.
Can I ask
Waterbush,
you a question, Sister Juju?
Vigus. Huh?
Can I ask you a question?
No, man, you trying to cut her wisdom or something slick.
Right. Yeah, you
No,
can't
let
just
him go. Let him go
trying to
because I
No,
actually
distract.
you
came
know
up
it cut
here.
you off though. That's
Let
I'm making you aware of the tactic.
That's fine. I don't
politely though.
care. Let him go
Politely though.
because
I'll give
I
you
was
that.
already. Listen, I only came up here because I was finna get him. Okay, so go
Mm.
ahead.
You're gonna get me.
Yes, you,
Hold on, we
This is
can't
you. So I
just
love
Jose,
you and I respect you, and you gonna jump on me.
Yeah,
What did
bro.
I do wrong?
hold on. We
You
can't
you
get off
have
of
something to
the.
say. You can either say it.
All
You
right.
can say it.
What I'm gonna say
Because
is this.
I give you permission here. I have the
Okay.
authority to give you permission here, Jose.
No problem.
is that Jose Cuervo?
So, okay, I want to
So
pose a
you were
question.
gonna say something. Please say it.
I'm going to say I agree with you that Egypt is more than language. But if we're scrutinizing a term
Sure.
like that,
You sure?
we
Let
have
him
to know,
finish.
we
If we're
have to
speaking
know.
what?
I said if we're talking about Kemet, clearly there is more to the study other than language. But if we're gonna
No,
scrutinize
let me tell you why. Kemet is another loophole that Egyptomaniacs like to use because Kemet only
Mhm.
represents, this is what an Egyptian told me. And I also know this by the little bit of studying I do, because I really don't like this conversation, they'll tell you. But I know when some ish is fishy. So,
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and put my bait on the line and get to fishing.
Mhm.
So, the thing about Kemet is that's only a small representation of we know about ancient Egypt and modern day Egypt today. And Kemet is only the fertile black land, right? The banks of the Nile, the
no,
dark silt areas where you can actually grow things on. That's
no,
Kemet. No other part of Egypt can be Kemet. And if you want to break that down to percentage, it'll be something like maybe 8% is Kemet. And the
that's
rest
not
of ancient Egypt is that 92%. So do you
that's
get
not
that? So you were limiting ancient Egypt just to
true.
Kemet when it was also called Tameri, Taseti, and some
Right.
other languages, and
So are
those
you aware?
Rimich called themselves Rimich and
But
other things, then that's a problem. So you can't twist it with that.
Yeah, she got you on that one.
Yeah, he was trying to talk. We need to mute our mics out when another person is
that's
talking.
what I'm saying. You have to be aware that Kemet were also used before toponyms. Kemet aren't just toponyms. They
Says
describe
you.
the ruler of the country as well.
Yeah, it
So
says
you
you.
can't
So let me go to something that's real
Says the
right here.
pyramid text. Says
Let
the
me go to
pyramid
something real
text.
right here. Listen. So let me go right here.
Well, okay, wait. I'm
Hold-
sure it would because I'm thinking
Hey,
Kemet
Chief.
would still go back to that representation to Osiris. So yeah, I'm
no.
thinking it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's some more
Yeah. Thank
symbolism
you.
in that,
Appreciate that. Appreciate
right?
It
that.
was used to describe
So
Punt.
I
don't
can
die
listen
on
to
that
you
hill.
all day, whether I agree with her or disagree with her.
Okay, I'm
Why?
gonna read
Why?
this
Why
statement.
don't you
Hold
agree
on.
with
I
her?
want to read. I want to introduce something. I want to give y'all a conclusion to context. Okay. And this would be for Reggie when he dive out the window and hit that concrete. Context is key. As we have seen, translating Egyptian hieroglyphics is not a purely mechanical task of substituting words. It is an act of cross-cultural interpretation. The translator must be, in a sense, a historian, an anthropologist, reconstructing the context of ancient Egyptian to convey meaning. By combining linguistic rigor, deciphering signs and grammar with cultural insight, we get closer to the intended meaning of the original text. A translation that honors context can bridge 3,000 years of history and make an ancient voice understandable today. Lessons from mistakes. Historically, translators like Kircher, wild guesses or misreadings of the terms like makaru serve as a cautionary tale. They remind us that our own biases or lack of knowledge can obscure the truth in translations. Every choice a translator makes, even for a single word, reflects an understanding or misunderstanding of culture. A careful translator asks, what did his word or phrase mean to the ancient author or audience? He verifies the evidence before rendering it in the target language. Ongoing evolution. The work of translators and understanding is always evolving. With new archaeological discoveries, improved dictionaries, and interdisciplinary research, our translations of Egyptian texts continue to be refined. What doesn't change is the need for holistic approach. As one modern Egyptologist insightfully puts it, languages are not just codes to be cracked, but worldviews to be entertained. By entertaining the worldview of ancient Egypt, its environment, black lands versus red land, its religious concepts, its social norms, we ensure our translations do more than assign correct words. They convey meaning. And in doing so, we keep faith with the ancient scribes and readers, letting their messages resonate in our time authentically as possible. So I'm not sitting
You
here
thought that from where?
I'm not sitting here arguing with y'all.
No, it's
I'm not
fine.
sitting
Where'd you
here-
read that
I'm
from?
in the
I'm
middle of
asking for
talking.
a
In
source.
the middle of talking. I'm not sitting
Where's
here
the
arguing.
source?
Let me finish my point. Something I wrote based off my studies. I'm
Oh,
not sitting up here arguing with y'all. I am telling you that context is key. How do I know this? Because I sit and I studied how they deciphered the meta nature. So when they deciphered the meta nature, the hardest thing for them to do was to put in this proper cultural context. We've listened to the experts. They explained it. There's nothing left on this subject for us. There is not a debate in academia over what this is, what that is not. That's only debate in the YouTube community.
Come on now.
Okay, let's get this straight. We've established that. I'm just having fun. So if I can make some money off of having some fun, I'll surely do it. If y'all willing to pay for it, I'll definitely step up to the plate. I have no problem with that. But don't let them hit you with the meta nature magic. Make them improve their cultural context and make it not sound like an indigenous African guy daggone American, but an indigenous ancient Nile Valley human being. That's my
did you use the word? Did you use the word face in your treatise? In your, because I think you used the word face. You still a black atheist?
I didn't use no faith. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you use the word face in your
You're just trying to throw the audience off.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
he did.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say that.
Anybody else use the word
I
face?
don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, we ain't hear him say that one, Rich.
I didn't hear the word.
Yeah.
You didn't hear the word face.
Picture, bro.
Oh,
Nah.
Yeah. So that's my point. Hope y'all heard what I had to say. Reggie know who Kershaw is. You know who that is.
But let me pose a question to you again. When you look in the pyramid text and you see the word chem and chemist, you're aware that they translate both words as being black in the cultural context of what the text is talking about. They translate both words as meaning black.
Says you.
No, I didn't say it. The
Says
wall
you
said
in the
it.
KLA.
The TLA says
You're in
it.
the KLA. Right.
Right. The TLA because that's what
KLA.
the
Don't
TLA.
make me go into my KLA smell.
I'm going to say exactly what I said because I learned from the TLA.
Yeah, I don't got to argue.
It says he's a black ram, one of the black sheep, one of the black bulls, nursed by 4 clear sheep.
Yeah.
Chem and chemist, both of them are translated as black. And the line before it, if you want to know, says, here stands this Una as a sacred ram with 2 horns upon his head, like 2 wild bulls. Now, I want you to look it up and tell me I'm wrong because
Yoshi.
the first or second answer is going to be exactly what I
You
said.
wrong.
Ready?
You wrong until to Yolanda's point.
I'm
Basically,
telling
if
you what it
you could put a date on that though, bro. When they
says.
started using the word Kemet, you could put a
It's Fifth
date on it.
Dynasty. It's Fifth Dynasty.
So Yolanda's point still stand because you can put a date on Kemet. What is it, like 2000 BCE, 2500
But
BCE,
it
somewhere
wasn't
around
a
off in
face
there?
name is what I'm telling you.
Really, do you know
It's not
the
a face
date?
name.
Do
So I'm
you,
not
No,
do you
arguing with
know?
you
what
about
I'm
that.
saying is it's post 3000 BCE. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
but
so if you could put a date on it,
Right.
That's the end of the
But they still
conversation.
mean black.
No,
They still
no,
mean
there's
black,
Kemet.
Thank
according to
you.
the textual. That's the
No,
point that
no,
Adam makes.
there's Kemet
And
In
theography,
26,
and
86
then there's Kemet
BCE,
cattle. Kemet
20.
cattle comes before Kemet
Yeah, but you're
geography.
talking about a phase. You're
Age
talking
was
about a
different though.
minor
Yeah, it comes in a
portion,
different
as she was saying earlier. You're talking about a phase that those specific individuals were going through, to name it that, at the time.
That's called
right.
syncretism. I wrote a whole journal article on it.
Yeah.
Uh,
But before that,
what was they
before that, you
syncretizing?
got other things.
Because
You got other names.
syncretism is a little bit of overlapping. So what were
Yeah,
they syncretizing? The black cattle and the black silk?
no. Syncretism is a
Yeah,
changing
pretty
of
sure you left.
beliefs, right? How
No,
this African culture, right? How their beliefs change internally and then externally outside with other people. So what we have is we have Plutarch.
stop right there. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I wouldn't have said it like
it's
that
okay,
because
Juju.
synchronism has more to do what they had available. You feel me? And as African slaves, they didn't have the benefit to practicing their traditions the way they practice, right?
Mm.
So being in America, you wouldn't have cola nuts or other things that were important for deviation. So you would use other things, or you couldn't practice freely. So you would syncretize those practices into the Christian religion and the Christian church. So for me, it's not change. It was more of an overlapping. I think the change came later on, like hundreds of years later. That's all I
Well,
want to say because I think that'll
no,
be problematic if
I
you
don't
said
think that
change.
you I
It,
think that
it,
yes, I think that you're using the right concepts. It's changing within beliefs, and there are different reasons why the beliefs change internally, right?
okay,
So in
I'll leave it at that. I can take that. Go
yeah,
ahead.
when we initially see the words Kim and Kemet together, it is
Hmm.
cattle culture. It's in the pyramid text. That's the first time we see it.
So this is away from what we talking about
Mm.
though, right, Reg? I want to make sure we keep it very coherent. So this
I'm
is
very
taken
I'm
away
old.
from it saying, so this is actually taken away from the word Kemet having anything to do with like saying the black people. So you're not even on that. You just talked about the relationship between cattle and all that.
Uh,
And
um,
without that river, they
You don't
wouldn't be
think it's talking about the
having
black
no
people, right?
cattle
no,
Without
You
I
don't
that,
think
because they
think
it's
gotta
saying
water the cattle.
you don't think it's saying the black people though, right?
no, he's off that.
Let Reggie explain because Kenneth Craig gonna die in the chat if we don't.
Who?
okay.
Who gonna die?
Craig.
Nothing. Just let Reggie explain, please.
Okay. Um, humans
Kenneth Craig,
create,
get your life together. No, I'm playing with you.
yeah, humans create their own high principles and high principles and what they venerate. So
Mhm.
they early on they began to venerate of the cattle that they dealt with. They made a particular cattle sacred, and that in those cattle became the what you call the Apis bull or the happy Ankh, and then the Minervis bull, the Menware bull. They became these sacred cattle that's very much a part of this culture, right? From the beginning, and so humans created it. And so the question is, why did they venerate this, right? Normally, what happens is they create these concepts in the way in which they anthropomorphize uh, their animal worship with themselves. So
Mhm.
there's supernatural. The African supernatural is their ancestors and the animal, insect, bird world, right? That's where they make themselves akin to that, and so you cannot remove the happy ankh, the apis bull worship from this particular culture. And but why they made it that way, those are the things that we are continuously arguing. But we do know that these things existed from the beginning, and it went so far. It went into the Ptolemy and the Greek period, right? The happy ankh bull was worshipped further. But the problem is we have Plutarch, and Plutarch.
Everybody, what Reg, we don't want you to put us. We want to make sure. So you just have a whole different schmeal. This is away from the conversation that we're actually talking about. Am I correct? Just to make
No,
sure
it's no, it's no,
trying to tie. What are you trying to? What are you
it's a
trying to do?
nuance. It's a nuanced conversation.
Meaning what? What do you mean when you say that?
Meaning that these people venerated something that they thought was sacred, a particular color. Right?
Okay, so what's wrong? And how does that tie into the grand scheme of things? I'm going to make sure that you're not double, triple talking, kind of faking this out. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? What is your overreaching point without the in-depth analysis? What are you trying to say? Just say it so we can get that shit out of here.
Black was sacred, and it wasn't just about skin color.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
That's what
We don't
he
know
said.
what you're talking.
Let him speak for himself, Jose.
Why are you doing Jose? Jose, what is wrong with
I
you?
read the paper, so I know what he said. You didn't
No,
read
that's
it. I
okay.
know exactly what he said.
Nah, let him
Bro.
No, hold on. You might have more hair. Hold on, you might have more heart than Reggie. You said what? That's
No,
slow.
don't do brother Reggie like that. Don't play with brother Reggie like that.
Stop you.
No, he cut you off. Go ahead, let me get this. Go ahead, Jose. Go ahead. He was meaning what?
He also gave me my time to speak.
It's not just a skin color. It's not just, it represents something more sacred than just that dude is black, that chick is white.
A skin
We
color.
don't believe that though.
What do you hold on, Jose?
No. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We hear him. Say it again. What you just said?
Black represented something more than skin color.
But it didn't even represent skin color, did it?
Okay, thank you for agreeing.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Even I know that. I don't even study this shit.
Yeah, it did. You put a hair grip on it, you get a physical description of.
Why do you think it describes skin color?
No, Kent. Did you
You
hear
have what that does describe skin color.
Kent. Did you hear? Y'all missed it. I'm
And
agreeing.
you don't know that because
In Reggie paper, that what he said.
He's saying in Reggie paper, he's talking about something more than just skin color. Thank you, Reggie. See,
if you read it, you would have known that. So
thank you.
Kim, doesn't describe skin color, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the skin color part got me because it ain't even talking about.
No, he's saying he's
about it.
trying to say. He said his skin paper. His paper ain't talking about skin color.
Reggie's paper was not
He
about
said
black.
it's talking about more than just skin color.
Yeah, it was talking about.
He's saying
Reggie,
skin color
you got a
too.
good one. I don't know who this is, Reggie, but okay.
So skin color included, right, Jose?
No, he never spoke about skin color.
No,
he never spoke about skin color.
Hold on, man. He ain't even hearing what we said. You said no, Jose?
Yes, no.
No,
I heard
it was
him.
not about skin color.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, cool.
He had about 78 sources and none of them.
Reggie saying no. I don't know if Reggie agree with that. I don't know if Reggie agree. He's saying no.
You're gonna disagree.
I agree with him because he read my paper.
No, what are you saying? Does your paper trying to blend in skin color with the bulls? Yes or no, Reggie?
No.
Are you serious right now, Jose? I'm gonna kick you off the panel, yo. I'm asking the nigga that wrote the paper. You gonna say no? I'm gonna ask the nigga that wrote it.
Again,
that's funny.
The source. We gonna hear from the source.
The source. He take a look at him. Drum roll. Hold on.
Yeah. So
Bobby Banger.
Yes.
So Kim in my paper means sacred black.
Okay.
And that goes way past skin color because the people of this land, the Tawi, those groups of people, right? Before it was Kemet, right? They believed that they were sacred, set apart from other people. And then this concept of Kemet helped them more when they started seeing their neighbors. So and so it's a construct that they in fact created, right? Now is it talking about that everybody's in this country is black, blue, black, dark? No, it's not saying that. Like, because the emphasis is not on skin, it's on sacredness. Because the Nubians can be light and dark, but dark. And for them, those people of the Nile that we're talking about, the Nubians were not sacred, right? And so it ties into their beliefs, their beliefs of Ma'at and Isfet, right? order and chaos. And
So you didn't ask that question.
yes,
What's that question?
no, I answered the question. So I
What
just
was the question?
so the question is,
Uh-huh.
the question is, am I saying that it is tied to black skin? And
Okay.
and I'm saying no, it's
Okay.
tied to being sacred black.
I know. So, but how did that surprise anybody? Because that's what Egyptologists say. So I'm just trying to feel, how is that like?
No, they don't.
It's tied to, hold on. They do talk about other things being sacred because of the color black, brother. You just throw in the bulls. So I'm just wanting the audience to know that Reggie, right, after years of studying, refusing to go to goddamn going school for real Egyptology, has come up with his bull idea.
But I did go to school.
No, not for this.
I do got an honors award in Black Studies.
No, not for Egyptology.
I did work at the Schomburg Center for Research.
No, we're talking about Egyptology. That's fine.
I had
All that is good.
more than 50 articles with my name in it.
No,
right?
not none of that.
Fallacy is a fallacy somewhere in saying all that.
I'm not taking
You're nobody.
No,
You're zero. You're nobody. You're in the middle. You're nobody. Absolutely nothing.
Got him, man. Don't let him get you.
Nobody.
No, he good. I ain't gonna let him escape. I ain't gonna let him run.
No. You are not talking. Ankh is talking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make.
Nobody.
I just want our audience to.
He wanna escape. Go ahead.
I just want our audience to just. I'm talking about an expert in the subject. That's all I'm talking.
Like Dr. Hawass was an expert in the subject.
Yes, he was. He still is. Absolutely, he is that. I'm not going to.
Like he was. He couldn't even answer the question.
It was an interesting question. But my point is
a simple question that you asked. Is that museum going to be
taking me? You're driving away. You're in the street going.
Yeah, he's trying to get emotional on purpose.
Let's stay right here, Reg.
No, I'm
just simply saying. I just want the audience to know that that's Reggie's work. So now there's another.
Just like he read your work, but my work is public.
Now hold on, Reg. I'm just making the point, Reg, that I'm just trying to show the audience that stop signs all around us, right? And I want to keep the audience within that framework so they don't get confused. So yes, Brother Reggie has his own work. He has a few more steps to go. There's some more rigor that has to happen. You have to get some Egyptologists.
Do you know what rigor is?
Down. I'm in the middle.
You know what rigor is?
Reggie, let me finish.
You're gonna learn if you're talking, Reggie.
Reggie,
you Mr. Nobody. You nobody.
Had to validate
zero.
You can teach it later on. Reggie, you can get us later.
The man teach him. Let the man teach.
I'm just simply saying there's some more steps that has to happen, right? And a clear step for us is going to have to be that other experts in said subject respond to this. You have to tear that down and then turn that paper down. You will find its strength and its weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with that, brother. This is where the academic process occurs. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say something to you?
Let me just
I'm not listening to you, Jose.
Hey, Juju said let her. Oh, never mind. You got it.
Yes, yeah.
Let me respond.
Actually, I was next. I wanted to speak after Reggie.
Okay.
Yes, Juju.
Because y'all was like, okay.
Yeah,
you done speaking, Reggie, though? You made your point, right?
No, I didn't make my point to Ankh, but I'm gonna listen to you.
All right. So I'm this is just one point. I think this is sort of the problem with some of the people. I'm not really speaking on Reggie because he's in pseudo killer's witness protection. But this reliance on TLA, because it's just reliance on the linguistics part of it and not even a real piece of the linguistics. A majority of the people can't actually translate or transliterate the meta nature, relying on TLA. But also, I think it goes to the cause of a bigger issue, and that is the lack of this cultural understanding of ancient Egypt and their bias to only want in their hearts really bad for them to be Black, because that will make their lives so much more worth living. That's just the point I want to make, because anybody who's dealing with the population of people just don't deal with one aspect of the culture. like language. They deal with
I don't
all
disagree, Juju.
aspects of the culture. So
Mr. Juju, I do not
yeah.
disagree with
So
you, and
no, I wasn't thinking you would though.
I'm
But
not
yeah, the
disagreeing.
TLA is not your Egyptian god. And those who know who I'm talking to.
Yeah,
That's it.
well,
Reggie.
okay. So, well, thank you, Juju. I'm not disagreeing with you, and the reason why I wrote a paper because I thought that people were really uh, in dream world, and they did not find the attestations, and I went and I found as many attestations as I can. And some of the experts come on the show and they talk about, is this a real word, Kemet? Did somebody just draw this? They don't even know. These are the experts. They don't even know where it lives. Nobody really knew where it lived until I brought out the Sinwar hymn.
What happened? What happened? Nobody. What happened?
Mm.
What happened,
Yeah.
Reggie?
Nobody knew where. Everybody was using the word Kemet and Diops, A1, B1, right? Glyph with Kemet, right? With the people, but no one brought out the text. I was the one, that's the text that you use today on Sinwar. I went to the Met and I found it, right? And you can track back anywhere, nobody was showing all the texts that relate to Kemet. I did that, right? So that was just something part of my work when I was doing my paper that I did. Now, as far as rigor is concerned, first, rigor is being able to write a paper, right? And then get the paper published, right? If my paper, you can look at my citations, right? And it's way past the TLA because the TLA is a kind of a modern compilation of the Waterbush, Erdmann Grapho, right? But it does not have all of the attestations. So I went through and found other publications that of more modern work after the Waterbush to compile this. But I'm not really here to argue. I'm always a student. I'm here to learn. But I don't think that you could really. I mean, you can do logic and things like that. But if you don't show attestations for your work, then I'm just trying to say that it's just what you think. In my work, I source, I cite, right, and and so that's the difference. So I do know about rigor, right, and so I'm not what you call Afrocentric at all. I'm not Afrocentric. I'm not that, right? What I tried to do is try to solve a problem that scientists solve, and that's in fact what I did. And we can agree to disagree, and I'll take your disagreements because all your disagreements are always helpful because it makes me think better and write better. I'll take your disagreements, but what I ask you to do at the same time, right, is to show me your work. Show some write an abstract and source it, right? So write a 3-paragraph abstract on what your position is and source it, and then those sources just show who believes what you say. Now, you're saying it's Reggie's work. No, Reggie, yes, Reggie compiled the work.
You talking to me, Reggie, right now? I know you ain't talking to me. Who you talking to?
Oh, now I'm talking to you.
Reggie, are you nobody? Reggie, you can't squirm flim out of that.
You can't. No, you're squirming and flamming because
you need the academic credentials, yo, before I'm even paying any attention to that. Maybe somebody
you
else.
don't have, but you're not. You're a gatekeeper.
I'm not a gatekeeper.
You're a gatekeeper.
What?
But I have more academics. I have more academics
No,
than everybody in this platform.
You don't, Reggie.
I have more academics.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You mean like DJ academics?
No. More. I have more life experience in this subject, more academics, more teachers, right? I dare you.
Alert.
Man,
I dare you to write. Watch this. Before I debate.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, Reggie, it's just an automatic thing that goes off, yo. When we got it programmed over here. When it get too deep, yo, the pseudo alert goes off, bro. I didn't do it. It's just automatically.
Burn the paper.
AI has it
He don't
together.
look. He the only one I know with a poster of books and not a real bookshelf in the back, dog. Like, come on, man.
And you're nobody.
Like that's how we. You know what I mean? You don't need to take nobody like that
Hey, on the
serious when
real
they.
though, Dr. Reggie, on the real though, I got a question.
He still got a VCR.
Underneath,
He still got a VCR back there, man. I ain't taking the nigga serious, man.
yeah. Underneath this are the critical books that I use every day.
Reggie, you
Yes,
don't have
sir.
a VCR, do you, Reggie?
Huh? No, I don't have a VCR.
Yeah, if you have a VCR, Reggie,
But I need a VCR because there's
Press
some
play
great
on,
old
press
tapes.
pause on the jump.
I got a question for you, Reggie.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, it's a point of contention, but it's a question for you too on something you said earlier, getting back to 3000 BCE, Egypt along the Nile Valley, right? You spoke about the desert, and it sounds like you've done a paper or done some in-depth research on that. And so my point of contention would come in as I would say one of the main reasons why people went to the Nile, specifically the Bedarian group, also the I forgot, I can't even think of the other group right now, but it was two groups basically.
Cassian, the Bedarian, the Nakata.
No, not the
Tashian, the
Nakat, the
Bedarian.
it's L something. I can't even think of it right now.
Somebody got their mic open.
That's this. It's not important. It's not that important anyway. To the point, but the one of the main reasons people went to the Nile because of the desertification and the drought and the famine and the oasis disappearing and the resources disappearing. Right? Because you got to remember the people in the desert are basically still chasing big game. So they haven't adapted to agriculture, to goats, sheep, that type of stuff yet. You know what I mean? That's mostly in the Nile and in the Eastern Desert. So they haven't adjusted to that, and I don't really think that a lot of them wanted to, and that was part of their demise, so to say, or their them being marginalized, becoming marginalized people. Specifically, if you look at the Sheikh Mufti people, right? They're one of the last cultures to kind of I guess last throughout all of what happened in the Western Desert. If you look that up, if you pull that up, it's the Sheikh Mufti culture, and if you read a lot of the articles on the Sheikh Mufti culture, you start to see a pattern of people becoming impoverished, people just going through
What
it out
time
there.
period?
I'm talking around 3000 BCE.
The Sheikh Mufti period?
The Sheikh Mufti culture. The Sheikh Mufti culture. This is a culture that's in the Western Desert. So as Egypt is starting to become more urbanized along the Nile, right? They're starting to settle along the Nile. They're starting to become more urbanized. They're starting
Okay.
to farm. They're starting to do
I'm just
different
going to
things.
ask you to help me, right?
Okay.
Okay, give me the name of this culture that you're talking about.
Okay. It is
Spell it.
Sheikh
Yes.
Muftah, separate word, Mufti. So the Sheikh Muftah culture.
Mufti. That's like an army, right? So
Okay.
this is an Arab word, Sheikh multiculture.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna source the. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Wait,
All
I'm
right.
just.
So when you get a chance, also get this article because this article goes in depth. That's why I said when we was talking about Cedric earlier, it's hard to have a conversation with me about this, bro, if you're not gonna cite some sources to
Mhm.
at least explain to me why I'm wrong on what I'm saying. But anyway, um, it is called Living in an Egyptian Oasis. Reconstruction of the Holocene archaeological sequence in Karga. And that's speaking about the Karga Oasis. So
Mhm.
the areas in and around that, we were talking about the oases, right? So this paper will show you how these groups became more marginalized. And it would also show you how those Western and those Central Saharans that came from those areas, right? From West Africa, from Niger, from Mali, from Northwest Africa, those combinations of peoples as they start to migrate during the Holocene towards Egypt, towards the Eastern Desert, etc. By 4000 BCE, they've already pretty much been marginalized, amalgamated, interbred, intermixed, but for the most part, they're still segregated
Hey, hey,
in the Western Desert. You
I
can
don't
see
have a problem. I
hey,
don't have a problem with
drop
that.
the link
All right.
in the chat.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, but the problem I got with what you said is just to get
Yes,
straight to the point. You said it was still green. That the Eastern Desert and the Western Desert was still green.
it
That's not
wasn't
true.
completely. It
That's
wasn't
not
completely.
true.
It wasn't completely a desert at that time.
Yes, it was. If you
It's
look at the surveys,
attested
these
in
people
the.
are out there. They are out there going through it. They're out there. They are in those deserts going through it. You know why? They should have never stayed. They should have left, and that's part of the problem with the people in those areas. And if you read the genetic surveys from Usay, she basically says, or he, I should say, basically says that a lot of them left no genetic imprint. So when I say that the groups that were there earlier really might not show up in, like, if you just do a small proxy, but as you start to expand and recover more bodies and you're able to do studies on them, then you'll start to pick up some of those older markers that were, from their descendants and their ancestors that are still remained in those areas. It might not be high percentages, but you're going to find them. And so you got one body right now, and for us to kind of make it a conclusion off of one body, that's not a sufficient enough data set to make a conclusion. We have a glimpse. We have a small glimpse into the past, and let's leave it at that.
What you laugh for?
Because I don't see Yolanda on the panel yet, so that's why I
Oh.
laughed. But
So
she,
Mhm.
okay. So
Now, hold on, Reg. We got to get some other people on here, man. I just want to make this statement. I want to read this right here. This is where y'all all fall down. Neanderthal James said, the paper not a problem when the paper says there's not genetically sub-Saharan African. So yeah, y'all follow racism, white supremacy when you follow that train of thought right there. The only Africans in Africa aren't just who live below the Sahara. They occupy all of Africa, just for the record there. So and that population that occupies the space below the Sahara is a very, very diverse population. Last time I checked, Sudan is in North Africa. As a matter of fact, to be precise, Northeast Africa. What's up, Kim NTR? What's up?
What's going on?
What's up with you? Yeah, he just fell off. It was too much. What's up, Mel?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear,
What
brother.
up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Peace to the panel, man.
Peace.
Hey, Nazir, were you talking about the El Omari culture that was
no,
doing
no,
pottery?
Oh
no,
yeah, yeah,
no.
that was my bad. But I
All right,
dropped
hold on a
some
minute.
primary
Hold on
sources,
a minute,
man, in
Mel.
the back chat, man,
Uh-huh.
for what y'all discussing right now. If y'all want to pull that up, Reggie, I dropped 4 good ones in there.
Uh,
I was talking about the El Kabian culture.
no, hold on for a
So
minute.
so you
No, no,
got
no,
El
no, no.
Ka. My bad. Go ahead.
Ho. Let my man go ahead. Now, what was you saying, brother? Yeah, he froze out. He got it. Yeah. All right.
I thought he was just looking at the camera, yo.
okay. So I'm not gonna disagree.
There you go.
I'm
There
not,
you go.
All right,
He
go
back.
ahead,
He
bro.
back.
He froze out of there, yo. The black guy with the black you, yo. What's up?
oh, now you're talking about your skin, you racist? What's going on?
No, man. What are you talking about, Reggie? You
What did
saying?
you say?
Skin froze. I mean, his
You put
screen
some
froze up.
sources in the back, yo. God dang, man.
He
I ain't
turned
talking
on his
white.
light. He a shade talking to you.
I dropped the 4 sources in the back.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is pull them up.
Now we can read it. The pyramid text, utterance, 273 date, Old Kingdom, 5th, 6th dynasty. The quote, Kim, KMT. What's this? Relation to the bull, the black bull. Here, Kim is not referring to land, but to we say color of the bull. Okay. Primary text, cover text, spell 1130. Quote, his hair is like Kim. His hair is black. No land determinative involved. Okay, the root of Kim is the color designating referring to black, often used independently of land, ethnic identity. No, but that's Shigani Diop's book. That got knocked out. They ain't doing that.
Yeah, that outdated.
It already got
It's also a study in there from 2025 that just did the ancient North Africa.
What?
Yeah, he thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's the same study we were talking about all night, huh?
Go ahead. Yeah, we already talked about that. So what that got to do with what
the death?
I thought from what I heard, y'all was still like saying that they ain't indigenous Africans.
Who? And on this podcast?
Oh, my bad. If that's what, maybe I misheard something. That's why I came in. My bad then.
But what does that mean? When you say indigenous Africans, what you mean by that?
Yeah, see, don't spit hairs with them. That's crazy. I mean right there. That's what I mean with the
indigenous Africans.
Hey, say, are you saying indigenous African is synonymous with black?
Listen, I don't want to use the word black. That's why I specifically said indigenous. So I'm talking about the original people.
No, I understand that. I'm saying, do you think indigenous Africans are synonymous with black people?
But we cannot even use.
Correct.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I get it.
But the problem keep coming in. Y'all want to argue the black. Go with that thing right there, the indigenous. Even though it tell you that KM specifically only mean black, because there's no land determinative in that when you say that.
You don't need the land determinative though. You know that, right?
For what?
Yes, you do.
What?
You don't need the land determinative, right?
All right.
You don't need none of that. As a matter of fact, come on, man, with that. Come on with the ignorant shit, man. That's ignorant right now. You're very ignorant right now, brother. You cut me off. Very ignorant. Let me finish. Let me talk.
Because you're arguing something that you have.
You just senile. I'm not dealing with the senileness. Can't do it. All right. It breaks trains of thought. We cut each other off. So I'm just saying that people that live there, they don't need to say black land. They can just say the black. The inference is there. They understand what it is. Simple, right? And I don't even feel like going over the glossing, right? So people can shake their head and nod their teeth, whatever you want to do it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I don't even like people playing in that area like that because then they playing in front of our faces. I don't even like the fact that African Americans want the Egyptians to be African Americans. When African Americans claim an indigenous culture, that's what African Americans are claiming. We say if we learn about Africa, it's going to help us move forward. I agree with that. So if you want to, if you think that learn about Africa is going to help you move forward, then the only way you could move forward is get the understanding of indigenous traditional African cultures. That's it. Now, if you end up making the indigenous African cultures African Americans, then what the hell could you learn from that? Not a damn thing. We put too much emphasis on the black because we are black people and we see ourselves as that. We see ourselves the way the colonizers made us see ourselves. We had to fight that he said that the black skin was dirty. We had to fight all that. And I'm saying those indigenous Africans didn't have to fight for that. They was not colonized. They was indigenous. They understood their land. They understood their resources, and they tied themselves to the river, their river culture. They tied themselves to the land, their indigenous African farming community, having absolutely nothing to do with the color of their damn skin. That is a racist approach. It's a trope. It's ridiculous and some bullshit ass scholarship that wild ass niggas keep doing over and over again because they can't see the world outside of the color references that wild ass Europeans gave us. We can't phantom a world where all of a sudden the black skin is neutralized and it's just about the culture because we don't really want to know the culture. We want to push African Americanisms on the indigenous culture. I refuse to do that. Simple.
I think we all agree on that, don't we?
No, they don't.
Now, can I ask you a question? Did I hear you say Diop was debunked on that?
No, what I said was that particular portion of his conversation, you know what I'm saying, got beat up. Simple. It's okay.
By what in particular though?
Sudaron.
No, Sonoran.
Nope, don't do it. Stay in 1973. Come on, bro.
No, I'm gonna stay Sonoran. See, here's the difference.
No,
Sonoran
man,
made
you're
those statements,
Come on, bro.
and he didn't continue. Come on, bro.
I know.
I'm
What did I
saying to
say,
you,
bro? No, what did
Sonoran,
I at, bro? We're talking
Sonoran
about
made those statements
1973.
and just left it there.
No, we're talking about 1973, 1974, bro.
Right.
Okay, so that's all we talking about.
But you're using 1974.
That's all. That's what
Say
we're
what?
talking about. That's what.
I mean, the research continues. It didn't
Question,
stop there.
no. The question was asked about Diop's conversation in 1974.
Right. So in there, you said he got beat up. He didn't get beat up.
He did. Wolof got thrown out.
Having an intellectual conversation. Who
When
are
I
you
say
to say?
beat up,
Who are you to say he got beat up?
Okay, bro. You know what I mean. That's just for the show. Hyperbole.
Okay, hyperbole.
They say get that bullshit out of here. Let me say that.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Right. You heard me.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make sure
because I can read and you read it. And see, that's the real problem here. That people before us didn't read the shit. When we read it, we seen it. See, when we read it, then we could understand that y'all niggas was scamming. And I'm not saying we realized what the scam was, and it confused the hell out of us. Because when we actually read it and actually comprehended it, we was like, what silliness is this? Then we could see how great Diop's was when we read it. And we could see his flaws. We could see how science worked when we really
see Sonoran's flaws too.
I'm not talking. I'm saying you playing right now in front of my face, Reggie.
I'm just saying.
You're playing right in front of my face, Reg. I'm
simply
saying, bro, y'all made Diop's a coon. The Europeans made him a champion.
We? Yeah. What are you talking about? I was the first person to go to the. What are you talking about?
Y'all made him.
So only Europeans can qualify us.
No, are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying?
No, you're not talking about me. You're talking about somebody else.
The greatest measure that you can do for a scholar and a physicist and an anthropologist is to help that man realize when he's wrong, because that's when he grows as a physicist and as an anthropologist.
You're acting like you on this measure, man. That you're really doing science
he don't get it. He don't get it. He don't get it,
bro. You know what, Nazir? If you don't tell me I got a piece of shit hanging off my ass when I go outside, yo, you do me a disservice. When you tell me I can clean it up,
resort to those kind of metaphors.
You hear me? They force us to do that.
All scholars.
All we need is reality, bro. And we can fix anything we got. What they won't do, they refuse to adhere to the scientific method. They refuse.
I got a degree in science, bro. What are you talking about?
Their argument is this. Their
what
argument
are you
is
talking about?
You're using.
I made a living off of it. What are you talking about? You're not talking about me.
Here we go.
You're talking about somebody else.
So only white folks. So the pushback is only white folks can qualify us?
No, only white folks seem to be the ones that told the truth at the Cairo Symposium about the issue. Listen what I'm saying. You had people take the paper. Listen, take the paper and lie about it. But at the conference, we figured it out. It was like, damn. And I'm saying it wasn't just Europeans, though, Nazir Lee. 1/3 of them was indigenous Africans. You get my point? And so it wasn't just white people. It was indigenous Africans, right? And they showed you the measure of Theophile Banger. Bro. Listen to what I'm telling you, bro. If you're a scholar and a scientist, right? And people just don't recognize your work for what it is, bro, that's doing you a disservice, man. Hate to say it, bro. As a dad, as a father, when my children are wrong, if I don't correct them, how can I make them a better child?
I can say this.
I'm not even talking to you, Reggie.
Report
on yourself.
That Diop and Obanga was more prepared than any of the other scholars. Dr. Sonoran made those statements, but did not continue for the report. Those were just his comments. You making him God, right?
I don't know what you're talking about,
the report
Reggie.
says that
Reggie,
Diop was
talking about, Reggie.
Diop and Obanga. Okay.
Changing the conversation, Reggie. I'm not
doing it
saying
on
nothing.
purpose.
What I said was the conference made them renowned and great. Is what I said, Reggie. You just can't take the parts that they got wrong, and that's what's wrong. It's not this
I
generation.
can take the parts.
This
I can take
generation
the
can handle
Let me
every
ask
damn
you a
thing wrong.
question, huh?
Oh my!
Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we have you not tonight, right? Because it's too much
You
tonight to
bust
do.
up. How you doing, bro?
But
You can't do that.
oh,
It's not Sarnetta's.
no, I know. Listen, though, I get it.
No. It's not Sarnetta's. It's a
Mhm.
gentleman game. How you doing, brother?
Oh, how you doing, family? All right, I'm good.
Pretty good.
Okay, all I was saying, will really help everybody if we could pull up that symposium with Diop.
We have.
And then have no. I mean, we need to really clearly go through them things that Unc just said that he got beat up on, and we need to fine comb tooth it as a group of intellectuals, and let's see what we got right.
We
And
do.
I know Unc is the type of person. If he wrong, he'll admit it. If Reggie wrong, he'll admit it. And this helps
No,
the
we've
No,
people.
he
already
won't.
done it.
Everybody
So
pause
that's the
for a minute.
problem.
Everybody pause for a minute. And Mel said pseudo alert.
You on the clock.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, I think you
You
got
on the
that wrong,
clock,
brother.
huh?
He will not admit when he wrong.
Yeah,
Whoever
they
that
won't,
was.
bro. They're gonna come up with something else, yo. It never stops,
Fufu.
yo. That's what I'm saying. Like, and y'all think I'm throwing a slur, bro. I'm saying Lamar Jackson. I'm trying to help y'all out, yo. His coaches, right? The other leaders on the team do him a disservice, yo, when they let him get away with that shit, bro. Like, that don't make you who you supposed to be. What y'all don't know is, yo, the reason I stay around so long is because people around me don't let me get away with that shit. They constantly challenge me, bro. I'm saying is,
No, they get you to death.
y'all some disrespectful ass son of a bitches, because y'all will not say Dr. Ben got this wrong, got that wrong, but he got that right. All other affluent communities and strong communities, they correct themselves. Don't have an issue with it. Us, on the other hand, we playing for no reason. I already told you we already won. We don't have to make sub-Saharan Africans the only Africans. That's a crazy scenario. That's a
Facts.
misrepresentation of the
But there's a
data.
pecking order, Unc. You're not giving a pecking order. The sub-Saharan African is before the North African. He came out our nutsack. We didn't come out his.
Yeah, but that's not evolution.
No, that's a fact.
That's not evolution.
I just looked it up right now, and it said that the woolly-haired black was most likely before the straight-haired black.
That's not an evolutionary fact. That's guesswork.
It's not a falsehood either.
That's guesswork.
Okay, well, we can both say we don't know. Okay,
Right.
but at least we know that the most of the consensus says what I'm saying.
You made that up, bro.
No, I bet you can't go right now and look it up and see if
Hey,
it's made
search
up.
that up real quick.
Yeah,
Search
let's
that
go
up.
there. Let's go right there, right now. Somebody say, was the woolly-haired human African
No.
before
Pull up
No,
your
you pull it
source.
up because you asked
No,
me to
you're the
do it.
one making the
No, I ain't
claim. Pull
made
it
it. I'm
up.
not making a claim. I'm telling you it's that. You don't like it, so what? Go look it up.
I'm gonna do this.
I'm not finna play that. I'm not finna play that look up
I'm gonna show
stuff.
you. You don't gotta look up now. I'm gonna do this for you. Look,
All right,
listen. We can't be stuck right here, y'all.
let's do it. Let's do it.
We can't be stuck right here. You cannot be stuck right here, yo. It's a racist trope you're looking at. It puts colonial powers at the center of the world. It makes them affluent. It makes them debonair. It makes them smart and intelligent. And everybody else, yo, the darker people is half clothed on purpose.
Because it's a hotter climate. It's a hotter climate, huh?
Listen to what I'm saying. If you can't look at this person right here and see, they just picked any goddamn body. If you can't see that, yo, then what are you looking at?
No, I get what you're saying, but if you look at the continent itself, you're trying to say they trying to make our culture look like they picked the black that don't wear the suit and the tie of modern time at an ancient time. But no, I'm not gonna go for that because
listen, this is what I want to tell you.
Okay.
That this is not representative of how Africans look. It's representative of maybe how some Africans look.
Okay.
You get that?
I do, as though I get the Chinese or that Asian ain't how people from Philippines look, but you get that, right?
Yeah, and you get that the white person, that ain't how.
Exactly. The Norwegian look. Okay.
Thank you. But they put themselves at the center, yo.
I
And
get you.
and on purpose they give you the big lips. Well, wait a minute. Everybody lips would have to be African lips now, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah,
am I
right.
the epileptic fold you find in the koi sign? Like,
Yes,
what are we
yes.
really talking about here, bro?
That's a fact. I'm rocking with that. But the only thing I don't get is when we say, I just did. I talk about when y'all was talking. I looked it up and I asked the specific question: was the woolly hair person before the straight hair? And they said
That's what we
yes.
call woolly head. I don't know what you looked at, bro.
Woolly hair. All you got to do is put that.
What's the
You're gonna know. You
significance?
don't know,
What's the
but you're gonna know
significance?
when you put it in there.
What's the significance in that though, bro?
The significant is black man that we've been saying shake on to the all they stuff about African and in the South. We don't even have the DNA right now from the South that deep. We got this 4,000-year-old mummy that goes back at best 2200
No, so
BC.
did you
Egypt
read?
is 31, so you
Did
ain't
you
got
read? No,
DNA
no,
from
listen,
Coastal.
listen. Why are you doing that?
See, that's what I mean. You making bold statements like
No,
this is
no,
what they are
I'm asking you
because
a
of some
question.
limited DNA
No,
you got.
no, listen what I'm saying. Did you read the paper?
Which one? The 22, the BC?
The 2025 paper.
Yeah, about the one they found they did a DNA test on, and he
Did
was
you read it?
supposedly 4,000 years old.
Did you read it?
Yeah, and he's not making the composition of the southern part. He was found somewhere up in the middle.
But did you read it though?
I got the gist of it.
Okay, well, let me give you the better gist of it.
All right, let's see.
It say don't do what you just did.
Okay,
Because it's just one person.
that's right.
That's what the paper said.
But I hear Kent and I hear Nazir and I hear this pseudo alert and this Juju lady, all of y'all coming on like they was
You
not
just
black. They was
hold on.
not black.
Wait, let's do this. Juju, the
Don't
queen.
talk
Nazir
about
didn't say that.
Juju. Don't come on here to start talking about a sister,
Yeah,
right?
you can't. That's the
I
queen.
don't listen to nothing Reggie say to me. You
Oh.
don't tell me what to talk about. I'm a grown ass man. I
Listen,
slap the shit out.
That's the only thing you got right all night, bro.
Okay, we can't do that. No.
So wait, hold up. So
You ain't gonna never tell me not to tell a woman.
No,
Nigga,
y'all not
my
gonna-
grown men in Africa cut women
intellectual?
heads off.
You're
You
just-
fucking coward. Shut your bitch ass up.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Wow. Yeah, yo, you did that, yo.
Yeah, he
you
been
lost
listening
your
too
mind.
much to the other channel and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah,
why
we're not doing that.
he
He
thinks.
said
Nothing.
somebody saying they not black.
But he'll never write nothing. He'll never write nothing. He will never present.
That was ugly, yo.
He will
Yeah,
come
that
on
was
and he
ugly.
will chat.
You
I've
gotta
heard
apologize for that, yo.
So
Hey, yo, you got hold on. You gotta apologize for that, bro. You gotta apologize.
no, he ain't gotta apologize.
Come on, Reggie. Yo, you gotta apologize, bro. Sir.
I would never apologize if he don't show me respect.
No,
He
hold
don't
on
tell
for a
me
minute.
he not my daddy. I'm older than that nigga.
We talking about to the show.
No, because I don't like how he just
Hold on
disrespected
for
me
a
and got
minute.
away with it.
Hold on for a minute. We talking about for the show.
Talking to a sister and knocking a
Reggie,
sister.
No, don't tell me what to say,
Reggie,
nigga. Don't tell me what to say. Don't tell me what to say.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna ask you one more time, yo.
Like
You
so angry.
apologize to the show and the sister, yo. And this.
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna if you're gonna step up to the throne just like that lady stepped up to Caesar, our queen. She was with it. She got her eye knocked out. She was with it. Don't step to a man if you ain't ready to step to a man.
What you talking about, man?
What you talking
I'm talking about. He talking about I'm disrespecting. I ain't disrespecting. I'm just challenging her information and saying it's bullshit
No,
like
yo,
she doing in mom.
You say lady.
I ain't called her out her name until I got mad at that bullshit. But I do apologize for that. But I don't apologize for challenging her information.
Right. That's not the apology was
And I
asking.
don't like Reggie trying to chastise me about. Don't tell me. Shut your motherfucker. Don't never tell me that.
Listen what I'm saying, bro. Listen what I'm saying. This ain't what we doing, yo. I'm gonna let you cool out.
Like I really do this, Reggie. You bust.
Yeah, we can't do this.
Okay, so now, so listen. Now I'm on this. Listen, this is a funny thing. I'm in enemy territory with the pseudo killers, right? I gotta thread lightly. So I have somebody else from another camp. I just want to see what he has done for our people in any sort. So everybody can throw on their testosterone and act tough, but this is not the place to act tough. The place to act tough is to have decorum. So when we have a woman, right, who has shown her work, right, who's traveled, right, and so we have to put her in a very special place because our women women are not doing that, right? But this dude, now I'm a buster, I'm all that. I know where that comes from. Stay where you are, but you check this out. If I die tomorrow, and you die tomorrow, nobody will remember you, but they will remember me, right? So that's where that is, right? So I just hate when we lose decorum, and then there's a sister, and she listen, she has spent her money, time, she's donated, right? At least to our family over here, right? And then somebody goes over here and minimizes her, and then gets upset when I call them on her, right? And so now I'm a buster, and I'm all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm a buster. I'm all of that stuff. But if I die tomorrow and you die tomorrow, ain't nobody gonna remember you.
Well, hey, this brother Nazir, hey, listen, man, I think the brother, he clearly wasn't listening because I didn't say, and I didn't hear anybody else say. I was just challenging because I know there are people who would argue that, see, they're not Africans. They're representative of the modern populations, which are Arabs and others, with a little African admixture, but for the most part, they are who they are. What I'm saying is that West Africans, Western Saharans, Central Saharans played a part in the genetic makeup of the early Egyptians. And when they do a larger data set of the Western Desert, the Eastern Desert, and even parts of along the Nile, they will see that. That's the only thing I said. And I said, let's not forget about those people. Let's not forget about those people just because we found one body that gives us a glimpse into the past. That's all I said.
Well, I agree. I agree, and also I'm gonna have to do some more work on that on Sheikh Mufti. But I think that we
Yeah.
what do you no, but the whole
Only from Reggie. I like what you doing in that area. I just would say that the desert part where and their reason for going to the Nile, I would just add on to that to say it's a little bit more complex than just a couple of groups went to the Nile. They're going to the Nile because those are where the advantageous, ambitious groups. You
no,
get what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. It was migrating to real desert, but it's not the desert that we think today, right? So there's patches of green, right? There was still some cattle culture there, right? So I don't disagree.
It
I
was
really,
so it was so scarce though that it was not enough for all those
yeah,
groups.
they were
The
nomadic,
competition, you know what I'm saying? The competition is so
right?
fierce to
And
the
so
But
point
I
that even the group that at one time was
look,
the dominant group in the Onanians, they become a minor, insignificant group.
but I did just drop a source though to show the oldest fossil was be comparing from north to sub-Saharan was the sub-Saharan fossil. I just dropped
oh,
that in the
but
back
we
if
were
y'all want to
having a
pull
About?
on
nuanced
What
conversation.
you talking about? Yeah,
So
what you
it.
talking
I
about?
dropped
so
off and I just had to
what
come
I'm
back
saying
on
is,
and because I
Oh,
remember y'all was saying that, so I had to come back because
oh,
that's
okay.
where I left
we
off
were
at.
saying what though? I'm saying so. I'm trying to figure out the significance of always. Do you realize that Sudan is not in sub-Saharan Africa?
Well,
So
you
you,
gonna look at the source?
I'm
I'm
telling
just
you,
saying, you gonna look at the source?
do you hear what I said though?
I heard what you said.
Does that have any significance to you when I say that?
It do, but when you look at the
Right.
source that I just showed you right there,
What?
if
The
you was
what?
asking about what we going off, of we going off what the science say, the science right there show you the oldest fossil compared to the North Africans. The Sub-Saharan African is older, and that they come from that.
But the Rift Valley, like we understand how humans migrated up north. Like that's not an issue. I'm just saying, like, don't beat yourself up. It's called evolution. There's no direction there. There's no scientific reason or scientific proof that what you're calling a sub-Saharan Africa is more African than what you would call a North African. There's no scientific proof of
No,
that.
no, no. I'm not saying more
You
African.
get it? No, but do
I'm
you
not
get it
doing
though?
I'm
There's
not
no
doing the more African
okay.
thing.
Well,
I'm
then
just
that
saying that those people are older,
what?
and that the people in North Africa came
It's
from
not
those
true.
people.
It's not true.
Well, I just
That's
dropped the
like saying,
source.
that's like saying African people are older than Europe. Are African people older than European people?
Well, I just dropped the
No,
source.
I'm asking you a question. Are African people older than
We know that already.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so that means you don't understand evolution. Homo sapiens sapien is between 350,000 years to maybe 250,000 years. All human population is 99.99 the same. It's a wild racist stab on both directions. Now we arguing when the skin color develop. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, if we argue in the race fact, then that's what we're doing. Then if you want to put it,
not arguing race, bro, doesn't make sense. No one wins the race. I'm arguing indigenous culture. Now Valley culture is indigenous culture. I don't care who walked in there.
then even that, then I'm saying that the culture in North and in the Sub-Sahara was still older than the North. That's all I was saying.
You mean so you're saying you're basically saying that people lived in near the closer to the equator longer than people lived in North Africa. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And what that mean? You get it? Like
if people know from what I was hearing,
that
people
way.
was basically saying that they didn't have nothing to do with them people when you can see that they came out of there.
That who didn't have nothing to do with what people?
The people in the Sub-Sahara.
Well, so then why is the people in the Sub-Sahara more important than the people in South
I
Africa?
never said it was more important. I never made that claim. I was just saying that they older and that the people in North Africa came out of that.
Older. I said all humans are 350,000 years, yo. All humans. You're trying to make a wild divide.
Yeah, we all human, all Homo sapiens.
Yeah, you're trying to do something.
I understand that part too.
Around. Look, you know what the racists do?
Species.
Look, this what the racists do to you. He'll say, "Ain't no sub-Saharan Africans in Egypt."
Okay, I hear you. Well, let's just say this then. Let's say this then. The people in the Sub-Sahara migrated up there. Let's just say that then, if that's how you want to do it.
They brought their cattle with them, bro. Of course.
That's all it is. If you want to do it like that, let's just say that.
I'm just doing it.
I'm not arguing against what you're saying.
No, you're not. I'm just trying to show you a different way to look at it, bro. That's all, man. Just trying to get you to see. Right? Like, let's look at this. Let's look at the thing holistically. Let's really look at it. I'm never gonna let a racist tell me ain't no sub-Saharan Africa. What? Okay, and like you said something slick. Like anytime you want to make a sub-Saharan Africa, they do. Because that's a socially constructed border, yo.
Imaginary line.
It's a social political border, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. Whenever they do want to create that divide, they'll use sub-Saharan for their points. So you're right about that.
Not acquiescing to a faulty premise. What are we talking about here? What? Like, who cares? Okay, and it's not a big deal.
I think it make people feel better to say that Africans are older than Europeans. Like, what does that do for people?
Because they not, though. They all Savannah apes, bro. They all Homo sapiens. Now we're gonna argue what the skin color was this. You got genes for light skin in Africa, yo. Like, that's the never part.
No, what I'm saying is, what is it
older?
What does it do for them as far as like would it make them feel good?
I don't like that part. I don't really like that part. I don't like that part of it because we supposed to be able to feel good about our history. So I mean, you can get that.
No, I could totally understand that we all one species and all that. I get that. I'm not arguing against none of that because you can't argue against none of that. You'll just be looking like an idiot up here trying to say any of that. So we're not doing that, you know.
No, I'm not saying we all want people like that because the distinguishing factor is culture, brother.
No, me neither. That's why I said we all are one species of people.
Yes, we're all species.
That's why I specifically said it that way, not so that nobody don't get confused with what I'm saying.
Right. So then, if we all one species, then we best be understanding the cultural differences because this is what we look. Ain't nothing wrong with being different, bro. How about that?
It's just that the mutation of the species, I guess you could say, that we call white people came later. If you want to say that, you could say that.
Yeah, but you could. I probably want to play this for you. Hold on, let me play this for you, yo. See what you get out of this. Let me see.
I think the main thing is, I think we all should just
do it the way you do it. I don't mind. You for me. Like I ain't tripping. Let me see. You get what I'm saying? Like for me, I ain't tripping, yo. I know
I
exactly
understand that.
what I see.
I'm more in the cosmic perspective tip with it, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
me too. Though.
I feel
mean,
like
yeah,
humans do better all around when we work together, no matter what the culture or the phenotype or the skin color. I think once everybody get on that type of time with it, and then we'll move further as a
yeah,
human.
that's not gonna happen though, man.
I mean, it has happened. Though. We work together with people now that ain't the same. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
I
we
mean,
can't say it ain't gonna happen. I'm because I'm
yeah.
dealing with the science of it. That's why I gave a primary for what I was saying. So that I'm not just saying it.
I think it's more of a possibility of it happening now than maybe hundreds of years ago. Wouldn't you say?
What? The what?
With people working together, like just bypassing all of that divisive shit.
I mean, it's divisive, yo. It was definitely a tool of colonial powers, yo, and they got us trapped into the pseudoscientific one-drop rule concept, and we can't even phantom a world without dealing with the color in the United States, bro. Like they make you that.
We fresh out of it. That's why. I mean, I'm saying like later on down the line, once that shit is kind of like, I mean, I ain't mean to curse, but once it's
you good?
It's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
It's actually irrelevant to the conversation. The conversation should be steeped in indigenous African culture, and how can you explain that? How well can you explain it to make the separation? The experts do. They say that's Sumerian culture right there. That's Hebrew culture right there. That's Anatolian culture right there. We're afraid to say that's indigenous African culture right there. That's Nile Valley culture right there. We scared to say it because we've been colorized and we've been tricked. They trick you with that. Ain't nothing wrong, yo. We're talking about indigenous African culture, and it ain't got to be based off the skin. What's wrong with talking about the soil? It's their environment. What's wrong with talking about their relationship to the soil? Damn. What's wrong with their traditions coming out of their relationship with the soil and the river? See, that's indigenous hunter-gatherer. See, don't nobody want to talk about.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, it's human history.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Right, but we don't focus on that. That's when you learn. That's my point. You don't learn what their skin color was black. Everybody got dark skin color near the equator. It's what it's called.
And you got people near the equator that's born without the dark skin color. So the color ain't even an argument.
They ain't plentiful for a reason.
I understand that, but you got it. Did happen. So like it's not that we not arguing skin color. We been got past that.
No. The side that you all go on, yo, they ain't past it, yo. They can't see a world. And then the thing that get me the most, yo, is the Nubians by capita are darker than the Egyptians.
Absolutely.
So
nobody want to claim no.
Right.
No, ain't nobody not claiming the Nubians. Why you say that? They was just enemies to the people in Kemet. That's all. Ain't nobody not claiming
you got more people
wanting.
Go ahead.
How they gonna be enemies when black is so precious to them? They would say, them people,
look,
precious item right there.
They wasn't. Look, let me not say. Look, let me not say they. Look, let me not say they was enemies. Let me correct myself. At times they was enemies because there was a lot of times where they wasn't. Where they was clicked up and they was doing their thing together. So I'm not saying they was always enemies. And when I was just saying that in reference to him saying that people don't want to claim them, and then that's the time period where that come from because they was an enemy at that time where people were saying, standing them people. That's all I was saying.
People want them pyramids, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's the times they love each other, the time they hate each other. But let me add a caveat to that. That's in the writings where they enemies. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But on the ground, it's a different picture, and I can prove that. Just like right now, I'm gonna give you an example, right? You would listen to some people and say, yo, they at war with white people. Whoa. And then they go right to work. What's up, Tom? What's up, John? How you doing, man? Take each other to lunch.
Politics.
Go right to the store and buy some good old food from the food market. Oh, thank you very much for the steak, Charles. Don't say nothing. If you truly felt the way you thought you felt, why would you trust? Would you be in the middle of the woods somewhere growing your own food, eating your own? You don't really feel like that, right?
And that's why I had to make the correction that they're not just enemies. That they was good at most times, and then sometimes they was at war. But that's regular when you were in a
Most
population
times
of.
they was at war.
You said what?
I don't agree. They was most times they was at war.
I didn't say most time. I said most time they was good, and sometimes they was at war. That's what I
and
said.
times they was at war, they was still good. How about that part?
I wouldn't argue that either, because you still have business going on outside of war. So I'm not arguing that either, because they still had trades and everything. This stuff that still had to move, because that's business.
The ancient Egyptians built the most of their forts around the southern border, right? Simna, right? And down. So most of their biggest and largest forts, they built it in the wrong place. They should have built it up north, but they built it to the south, right? So they put a lot of currency into defending their borders from the Nubians. Right, but we listen to the Egyptian story. We don't have, unfortunately, the story of the Sudan, right, in Nubia, right? We don't have that story, so we become Egyptian centric.
Yeah,
right? And now
Yeah,
river centric.
I wouldn't really say Egyptian centric. We just stuck with what we got. That's all that is. We don't really have their sides.
but
There's
we
only
take it
one
too
side
far.
that you can't argue.
But I know, but Kim Netta, sometimes we take it too far. So then we start
Yeah. A lot of people do, and that's why when I make the arguments I make, I don't generalize it or make a blanket statement to where it's like that. And I come with the source that is just arguing the point that I'm making, so that you can see where I'm coming from. But a lot of people do overgeneralize, and that is a lot of the problems that we have when you come to the readings and the stories and stuff that come out of Kemet.
Yeah, that's Afrocentric stuff.
I'm of the understanding that people don't like to talk about it, but ancient Egypt colonized Nubia. I'd say around the New Kingdom period. They forced them to convert over. They took control of the trade, and just the culture influence took over all the resources. So yeah, people don't want to
Part
talk
of it.
about that, but they definitely did.
One part of it, not the whole thing.
Say what?
Not the whole thing.
Well, no, they were expanding into Nubia. I'm not saying they took over the entire kingdom. I'm just saying.
And then it come right back. It come right back and one up them, don't they? Nubians come right back and one up.
Exactly. And then there's
the whole thing, and then expand into the Middle East. They don't talk about that, do they?
Right.
I mean, they hold on. Them dudes, they ran all the way down Nubia, all the way to the Middle East. The Egyptians never accomplished that. That's just for the record. I just wanted to throw that in. Just for some spice. And there's wars that's detailed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people don't talk about the Cushitic resistance.
Yeah.
No, because we don't have the records, but for the most part. But I'm gonna go.
Okay, appreciate you, bro.
I lost my phone. So
where's your phone at? Oh wow,
it's in the streets. It's in the streets.
Oh, there you go. I buy one. You need some more taps.
No, it's not. It's I'm gonna get it in another. I ordered the phone. I'll get it.
All right. I'm gonna play this right here, man. Listen to your brother Cater, man.
Skin and straight hair from 60,000 years ago. Always. They're not new. That's my whole point. In fact, I could make the argument that those kinds of characteristics actually originated in Africa. That they didn't come from someplace else. They're part of modern humanity, or they're part of humanity. And there's no reason to believe that they could not have originated in Africa. Incidentally, skin color can flip back and forth from an evolutionary point of view. We now know every 15,000 or so years. It's not the sort of thing that, it takes 100,000 years, million years to live in one place. And skin color itself is not always an accurate index, even in current situations like in Brazil and Venezuela. It doesn't necessarily give you a proportionate amount of ancestry. You can have people with very fair skin, but actually have more quote unquote black ancestors than some people who are actually darker. So you have to be very careful about what you think you can quantify from that, again, based on science evidence. Now, there the issue of having narrow features, a narrow face, and what have you, we have remains, and normally I would show you this slide, but we're not going to get to that today, of people from Gambel's Cave in East Africa down in Kenya that are probably about 10 to 12,000 years old. If you measure them up and submit them to a forensic type analysis, they'll cluster with Europeans. They're not Europeans. Their limb ratios are as tropical as you can be. They come from right there. That's what you have to be drawn to.
Charlie, you could ask more questions later. I'd like to give somebody else a chance, and you could carry on later, yeah? Anybody else? Okay, we need to stop. Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
I mean, you place stock in Darwin's theory of evolution, and I'm just trying to get an idea from what the questions I'm hearing is, I mean, what would you define then as an African?
I don't define an African or the African. There is a matrix of variability that constitutes a description of an African reality. Very different notion. The moment you start defining things with narrow terms and in particular ways, and a non-scientific, for something that's as fluid as this, is the moment that you will get into trouble, because then you're going to be forced to explain things, like I said, with typological methods or deductive methods when they don't fit. Okay?
It's a shame we ran out of time for this section, because that would have been really fascinating. It's just that you said there's and I do hear your point, there's a diversity within the African identity or spectrum. It just feels that if there is no, I mean, we don't just need to talk about the African identity. I mean, I don't subscribe to the notion of race either, but I think if we're using terms like African or Egyptian, which is probably more geopolitical in that context, but if we're using terms like that to define a reality, surely there must be a boundary, or so it isn't diversity we're talking about. We're talking about an entirety of the human race, which is one, and then we start to lose.
No, you don't lose.
Where's
it because
the
you have
for the diversity?
No, you don't lose anything, because you have your model-based approach. You have a real history of a species that emerged in Africa. You have some real fossils. You have some real people that you can look at. You have some real DNA evidence that ties together. Frankly, I was quite astounded when I found that when the Y chromosome data got produced, they didn't have that 25 years ago when I first started on this adventure. But I am pleased to say that I wrote, and you can get my master's thesis. I said, there's no theoretical reason why these Berbers from Algeria couldn't share common ancestors in the late Pleistocene. And sure enough, 20 years later, when the DNA came out, because what most people would say is they look at these Berbers, and I have pictures of them, they say, oh, these are descendants of the Vandals, because they look like Europeans. Well, I'm trying to have you understand that God or evolution, whichever one you want to choose to work with, works in mysterious ways. And I'm trying to have you understand that from a scientific point of view, that PN2 marker, that PN2 gene, ties 70% of the continent together. And there's some other things that are basically only restricted to Africa, except for the odd one you find outside, groups A and B. This belong to the E group. We can talk about that later. But no, what you're saying is that if you don't have some hard and fast boundaries, then it's hard for you to work with certain things. And I'm saying that would be like saying that if your son, if you had 6 sons and one of them moved to China and his descendants were only Chinese, and one moved to Greenland and his descendants were only Inuit, and another son moved to, I don't know, the Amazon and his descendants were only, folks from the Amazon, that they wouldn't be your relatives. That would not patently be not true. Genealogically, they would all be connected to you because you're the grandpa. They're still connected. The idea that physical similarity will always track with relationship is what we're trying to get. I'm trying to dispel you of that notion, because it's not always true. And so there's sometimes people who may look very similar, or when you measure certain things, they may appear to be similar based on the math, but in actual fact, using other measures and other kinds of information, you know that can't possibly be true. So when I go down to when I go to some village in the Sudan and I say, that guy looks just like guy at the conference in London, I mean, they must be, oh, no, it's not your twin brother. It's an accident. It's an accident. There's something in physical anthropology and evolutionary biology called polytopicity. And polytopicity was a problem for early evolutionary biologists who were interested in taxonomy and classification. Why? Because polytopicity refers to the fact that you have similar looking groups of organisms, or you have a group of organisms in one place that looks very similar to another group of organisms in another in terms of whether it was their wing shape, their morphology, in terms of things you can measure. But the dilemma was, should you group these things together when one was 10,000 miles away from the other, and there was no way that one got from one place to the other? In other words, they were not closely historically connected. So it's called polytopicity. It's one of the problems with the subspecies concept for zoologists, and the subspecies concept in zoology is the same as the race idea for human beings. Only with human beings, there's even more problems than there were for the zoologists, problem of classification. So my human example of polytopicity is certain people from Vanuatu and Papua New Guinea and those places who, for everybody who just sees them on the street, based on your own social experience, you say, oh, these look like Africans, or these are Africans. Well, no, they're not. No, they're not. Their lineage DNA says they're not. Where they live says they're not. And their languages definitely put them very far afield. But they live in tropical climates. Modern humans were tropical to begin with. Are these retentions from early migrations? Or are they just reacquisitions of tropical traits? Now, no one can answer that, but their DNA clearly ties them to Asia. I mean, the lineage DNA. And there's some other interesting things about DNA too. Other markers, and I have to finish now. Other markers clearly, in terms of lines of descent, tie together not just simply all of humanity. You can forget that there's some other more specific markers that tie people from China all the way to Africa together. And it's like amazing. That's the YAP marker. You know, and there used to be a debate, did the YAP marker arise in Africa, arise in Asia? If you say the YAP marker arose in Asia, then you're saying most of all Africans today came from Asia. I know certain people don't want to hear that, you know, those who are ideologically oriented in particular ways. No, you know, but the proof, so to speak, is that number one, that wasn't very logical based on the dates of the emergence of the YAP marker, but also within Nigeria today, they found some people who have the YAP marker. That's a long story, but anyway, it sort of submits that Africa is the place of origin for this particular marker. Okay.
At the time when the Homo sapiens first emerged from Africa, they were Negroes at that time.
What do you mean? No, I don't use that. No, I don't use that term Negro.
Yeah, I don't mean South. I'm just trying to make a strong point. Were they black?
Well, in terms of their skin color, they would have been dark based on ecological principles. Based on principles, that's our guess. Do we have any empirical proof?
You can be dark and Asian, or you can be dark and black. That's what I'm saying. Sorry to use the word Negro, but at the time.
All right, there you go. Simple. So, man, I can't explain them more better than that, man. I engage in conversations with experts all the time, man. It's important to get this thing. So I'm not just telling you something from YouTube or in the barbershop or whatever we're doing. I'm telling you something from having good, high quality conversations, man. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Mel, thank you for sliding through, Gullah. Appreciate you for coming through, man. K Netcher, man, appreciate you coming through, bro. You gotta come back, bro. Catch this flow, yo. We ain't.
I'll be around. I'll be always watching.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you, man. We're not playing around here, yo. We actually giving the greatest credit, yo. When we talk about respectfully the mistakes and the parts that went through, we don't want to play this little crazy. That like we won, yo. You feel me?
Me either. That's why you see the sources that I put. I started with Diop, and they grew from there, right? And you ended up from 2025, and I even dropped the most recent one for the bones that show that the North African. That's 2022 studies. I'm not playing around either. I'm going with the consensus of the science, so I'm following the steps.
You added some extra though. You was like you added for no reason. You ain't
I
got
didn't add no extras. I gave direct verbatim quotes with the source. I didn't add nothing. I didn't add nothing. I just posted the source with the verbatim quote and said I posted the source and you went and read them. I ain't put no spin on it.
Oh no, you ain't supposed to. No, you straight. Yeah, I'm just saying I ain't gonna let a person pigeonhole me into some shit that comes from the imagination. 700 African. That's man that you can find into the legend later on, bro. Geopolitical borders, bro. It changed back and forth, yo. Come on, yo. Talking biology, talking topology. You know what I'm saying, bro? So, yeah, man. You know, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. I see you, see Breezy Mel. Appreciate you for stepping up, man.
Yeah,
Peace,
no
peace,
problem, no
man.
problem.
And mess
For
with my
sure.
boy Rakufu, man. We all get a little spicy sometime up here.
No, he don't act like that on Sarnetters though, yo. So it's
Cause he know he can curse over here, man. We can't curse on side there. You tell people we can curse over here all the time, so it's a little different.
I ain't told nobody you curse over here like that, yo. You can say
Not
it.
like that. I say you tell people you can curse over here.
Yeah,
I
but he
ain't say
coming.
like that.
You know, I give the greatest honor to the sisterhood, yo. He come over here.
I didn't hear what happened right there. I had dropped off. I couldn't
yeah,
see that.
he did too much, yo. But you can't really cuss over here like that. If I ain't doing it, why I'm gonna let everybody else do it? Yeah, you keep the same decorum, yo. You know, we work towards being close to sounding like a scholarly show, at least. You feel me?
No, the reason why I said that was because all the time when we on side and you be getting it out and you getting a little heated and you be slipping, you say, well, I curse on my channel all the time, man. They ain't gonna hit you for that. And
Yeah,
I do it. So
but
that's
he
the reason why I said,
disrespectful.
but I didn't hear exactly how he got it out, so I can't say he didn't do it
He
live.
ain't just do that.
Yeah, I can't say how because I didn't hear how he got it out, so I can't say he didn't do too much. But yeah.
He did too much. Like he live in the damn museum or something. Like he on an archaeological dig. Get out of here with all that, man.
All right, peace, man. Peace.
Hey, peace, brother.
All right, man. I'm out. Good show.
Yeah, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Y'all know what it is, man. Without thing, man. Had them 2 shows, man. Go back and watch that. You know, watch the hit, right? Watch the Black Dot Bookstore and Cultural Center. Man, just be worried, man, of wolves and sheep clothes, bro. I think that's important, bro. Oh, that's the pink, the pink man. Big up the pink beard, though. But yeah, man, we ain't responding to the foolery, man. We did our thing like we supposed to, man. You know, I appreciate everybody coming through, right? And big up to all the supporters, man. That's all that really count, man. Appreciate you, C Breezy, man. Appreciate you. Craig, appreciate you, man. And Wesley Carey the second. He's wild. Meant you 2.0, man. Appreciate you. Astro 87, man. Sonic, man. Contrarian Thinker, man. They was all here today. Killmonger. Garcia. It was all in the building, man. We doing some big things, man. Doing some live podcasts. Popping out, surprising y'all, man. Staying strong, yo. Gotta do it. The haters is all around us, yo. Bat them down, yo.
Boy got the tank in the cut. I'm in Sosa World plotting on a kick though with Kent. Come in Tiffany gave me the pseudo names on the list and said went and got the low. Anthony got him in the scope. Gullah and Gozy make sure DNA ain't a problem for them folks. Cause a pseudo gon' die, they saw us. I'm a pseudo killer until let the sun shine.
All day, every day, man. Yeah, y'all know what it is, right? So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Man, I'm your host, Bobby Banger, and with that, I'm out.